watching it.
Episode 254 of the Lot Podcast, man. We have a great show for y'all. We got the election. I'm looking at a board that has nothing on it.
All I see are bears. We talking about bears the whole episode? It's going to be a short pod if we talk about the bears.
Oh, no, it's that guy.
You can hear in our tone, this is after the Bears game.
You can, and now that I read who it was,
can y'all finally let
it's
go of this? This is Babyface, which is a Quincy Jones apprentice. So I mean,
it's Babyface.
Yeah.
And I hear it now. It's like, oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah, it does.
It's like duh. Again, man, we got a great show for y'all, man. We have we have Shon with us.
Hi. Hey.
You couldn't figure out which with the
Incomparable's a good one. I don't think I'm rarely called incomparable. Let's roll.
Nobody can compare.
Hey, I think I'm slowly becoming Steve's Facebook arch nemesis, but that's okay.
That's great. I need an arch nemesis because everybody be scared. They don't know who they talking to.
Oh, you know, them definitely ain't scared. Let's go.
I don't say scared, but they just don't. Timid, trepidations. Because I learned that Facebook is you know who you're talking to, so you talk to them in that tone. So when you have a page that's ambiguous.
Oh yeah, you get big balls.
Yeah. So it's a little different.
Oh yeah, because I get approached all the time.
Yeah, they think it's you.
What do you mean? Oh, it took me a while to realize it wasn't him, and it was you.
It took other people to tell other people like, yeah, nah, that's not like that. That's him.
So now when I respond, when I like at him, it's like quotation marks around it if anybody pays attention. So I'm like, I know it's not. It's a mod. Didn't you just say that's like the best thing that... That's the greatest lesson he ever learned, and he's not even doing it right. How great of a lesson is it?
Didn't even learn the greatest lesson.
It's not
right.
Righty-tighty.
This ain't left and right. And when it's straight up, then it'd be like, which one is left and right?
Which one?
You know, left and right are the same.
Your left. It's always your
left. Left is always the same.
It's always for you. Whichever your left is.
You still put up the L to know which one in your left hand?
No, I do have to do this though. Like, which one do I write with? Oh, okay, right hand. I do.
See, I find that a lot with women.
Oh God, didn't we just watch Abusa 4 go through this? Now you gonna put me through it? Fine.
It's not a human thing though. I'm just saying. Generally speaking,
it's not a human thing to be like right, left. Oh, sorry.
I don't know.
That's a chick thing. You gotta have a vagina to do that.
But y'all both do it, so how?
No, I'm saying.
Well, no, he did this. I just looked at my hands. So maybe looking at the hands is a female thing. Throwing up the L's is a male thing. There you go.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
It's not. That's dumbest shit on earth. Illogical, goofy shit.
Y'all created this shit. Putting an L on your forehead to say loser.
Are we sure about this? Are we sure it wasn't white people in the 50s?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was a dumb jock. Yeah, I'm sure. They was hating on
a white guy in a leather jacket.
Thank you.
The Fonz.
With some cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve.
They made the Fonz a good guy. He was clearly a bully.
Who, the Fonz was a bully?
That is funny. Yeah, he was. They tried to.
What?
That is clearly a bully. Hey, that's one of the greatest acting jobs ever, too.
He's clearly a bully.
That's one of the greatest acting jobs ever.
Tell me more about this. I know it's not on the list, but
they rebranded the bully before the
they tried to rebrand, but he's the bully.
Why do we think he's the bully?
Look how he moves around.
Yeah,
everybody bows down to him.
They a motorcycle jacket on and cool hair.
If he's not the bully, then he's selling.
Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I have heard that theory.
Where
he's actually a secret drug dealer.
Ain't too secret about it.
He just can't be cool. Y'all didn't have like the cool dude in school that everybody just liked.
Yes, and he's cool for a reason. Money, bitches.
That's not true. Now, my niece, who is 7, has the cool dude in his class. Now he's fucking 7. Cool I don't know. I don't know enough about this child. Are you trying to say this 7-year-old is a drug dealer? We trying to say this? What we trying to say?
Sure, he got packs.
Or is he the bully?
No, I'm saying he got bitches. He look good.
I mean, he's 7. They're 7.
He's attractive.
He's a cute little boy. But everybody in the class likes him. Everybody wants to be his friend. I think there are people that are just,
have a je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, that people just want to be around. maybe the Fonz was that. And I don't want to, overstep the fact that he was a heroin dealer in the 50s too.
Regardless, it's
He's a bully.
it's a great acting job by Henry Winkler because he's none of those things.
Yeah, he's totally
Most of the best actors.
quintessential Jewish man.
Yeah, he's none of those
sure.
things at all.
I mean, he may have did it too much because he hardly had any acting roles after that.
They tried to typecast him. They waited until he got old. When he got gray hair, they were like, you don't look
then
like
you
the
can do
Fonz.
some other stuff.
He caught one with the little HBO show. I can't even remember the name. I guess it ain't that much.
He was still old.
Yeah, he was definitely old, and he was playing more himself. He was playing like an acting coach. But
Was that Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Nah, dude is a serial killer that he's playing the acting coach for, and it's the actor that you see in goofy movies and shit, and all the time.
I don't want to say the wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the damn show. But
Everybody holding their phone, can't Google it.
Fuck that nigga, man. That white bully.
But I like Harry Winkler.
That's
Fonz
right.
was the bully. Harry Winkler is adorable.
He's an adorable old man.
I'm gonna have to go watch the early episodes of Happy Days to catch up. Like,
Watch out,
he's a
everybody
bully?
be
He was a
like,
bully.
oh shit, ducking like he finna punch him in the eye.
who else hits the jukebox like that but a bully?
Yeah.
Wow, these theories are
That's what podcasts-
wild.
That's what podcasts are for.
You're right. You're right. Let me turn on my podcast.
Put them out there for people go and share them at their local watering hole. Like, did you know the Fonz was a bully? Where you get that from? Nobody supports that. Watch episode 254.
Actually, you should
of
put
the
that
Lot
up as a poll. Like, was the Fonz a bully? We'll see how many people know what the hell the Fonz is.
We got to put it on Trump Social.
True Social.
Oh, Truth Social?
We got to make sure. We also got to take note of the women to men ratio of. Never mind. We don't have to do that.
Oh, jeez. The
I'm just
gender
looking for the
wars.
gender wars. You know what I mean? Like this.
Can we kill that in
That's what
2025?
No,
Can we just all
nigga.
kill
Man, when that
this
shit
gender
getting
war
you
shit?
paid, nigga, no.
Oh my God.
There's money in it.
I understand, but we've been doing this for 5 years. It's like,
Well,
just all get along. You're gonna have sex
Niggas-
anyway. And why we fighting?
I think, we need to kill it, but
Agreed.
not kill it in the sense of, we can keep it, if we can keep it enclosed between us, cool.
If we can be constructive about it, I'm with it.
Yeah,
But
like,
if we just doing it
if
just
it's
to
a
be assholes,
conversation-
yes, I agree.
and not a
I agree with
war,
that. Yeah,
cool.
I agree with that.
But just to be like, women only want money. I'm
No,
like,
I'm
man,
not
we've been
trying
doing
to-
this for 5 years. We get it.
What they
Women
call
want
it?
money.
I'm not trying to be an incel. I'm not trying.
I hope you don't want to be an incel.
No, I don't
You
want,
red pill?
I don't want to sound like an incel.
Some of your posts
I
sound a
don't know
little
what red
incel-y.
pill. But here's the other part. I'm only sharing posts. I never make a post.
You know good and goddamn well, just like everybody else. If you put it up there, people automatically think you agree with it. That's just how social media works.
But here's the thing. It goes both ways. So
True.
The contradiction is never like, he just, because he posted something yesterday that contradicts this.
You're right. People are not
It's
that
always-
analytical.
yeah, it's
People are not
just-
analytical.
I see this post and I'm going to analyze it as you said it.
The
It's
crazy-
I said something yesterday that contradicts this.
The craziest shit when people run on shit that you can really just Google it is not true.
Nigga, I put fake shit up there all the time. They be
That
like,
shit is-
y'all
Oh
better than this is
my
fake.
God.
That shit
I'm like,
is
man,
Oh my God.
Like, what is wrong with y'all, man?
If you post it, I'm sharing it. I don't give a fuck.
We know. We know.
I don't give a fuck.
Damn, that nigga ain't here. He did this shit the other day, and I was like, y'all really having a conversation about this?
What was that? The
You
DVG?
can, you can read it. Nah, it was the Elon shit. It was like, it literally says Elon parody account.
Oh,
And
yeah,
y'all
yeah, yeah.
really
What did it
having a
say?
conversation. I forget what it was about.
Yeah.
The Snapchat filters and taking it off.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was the fact that like,
I'm finna
now
back.
you
Elon
can joke
said,
about that shit, but
was
the
a
fact
post
that
that-
people are
for
really
the
commenting
listeners.
like this is happening, like
For the listeners, there was a post that said that Elon posted a post that says, I'm buying Snapchat next, and I'm going to erase all of the filters so you women have to really look how y'all look.
I actually could see him actually saying that in real.
But the funny
That's
thing,
that's what makes it work.
But the funny thing
That's
is
what makes it work.
the account is from because if he says it now, it's from his account, whatever. But the account is named Elon Parody.
You want people to be analytical.
NBA
It's
Centel.
that gets people all the time. At least that's a letter, so I understand. A couple letters, but that gets people all the time.
People are not analytical.
I know that's.
And
I know
that's-
a podcaster who shall remain nameless on this episode, who throws out random data. Just be random. And when I go look at it, I'm like, the fuck is this shit?
77.3% say that nigga sound factual.
Especially see.
No, it doesn't, because they're like
Here's the
80% of women get divorced because they're bored. I'm like, What?
See, that's where he messes up. You can't give a round number with it. You got to give like a 7,
You gotta put a point
ending,
in it.
a point something.
Point
Yeah,
six.
you got to.
Don't matter. And if you say a vast majority of women get divorced because they bored, it don't matter if you said 110 to, or I'm like, what?
Like, who's taking this data? Where you get this from?
That's always my question. Where's this data
question?
from?
BMC study.
And you know who I'm talking about, Steve? Just random ass data.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Motherfuckers will ask
works.
100 people questions and be like, "This is what America thinks."
Hey, they'll disregard 70 of them. Yeah. So I got my list. That's what they told
or
me.
all 100 come from the same damn like club. Yeah, but
That's what you should
it's
say.
100 different people, all in the
What
same
you just said? You
facility.
don't know everybody in the world.
Hey, I did see some shit. It's a town or it's a county and a town. I don't know. It's like 7 people, and they're the first ones to vote every year because
Really?
they all vote online live because it's only 6 or 7 of them, and they
That's
walk
kinda
in
fire,
and
actually.
cast their vote, and that's it. They done.
I love that. I love that town.
That shit is. I was like, I guess like
Fake
all right.
Ahmad, you need to post that. That's kind of cool. This
I
town
get it.
where the 7 people all go vote at the same time. That's amazing.
That's why I don't vote, because I don't got nobody to vote with. Speaking of voting, we can go to why Kamala lost. That's why.
Oh, segue.
Yeah. What?
Anybody got any theories on why Kamala lost?
That's what you here for.
You know I'm not a political pundit, right?
Oh, we know.
I'm not Mark Lamont.
Yeah, you
Oh, I don't
report.
want to sound like we shitting on
You
women.
report for CNN. Yes, we
Oh,
know.
do I?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
why do I
You're
think
a
Kamala
correspondent.
lost? I mean,
We got to do what they do.
you want to do a
after.
recap first?
You got like a top 5.
No, what's
because
the
there's no
thing
one.
that they do? The autopsy of the.
Oh, yeah, the autopsy, yeah.
Yeah. So in the
The retrospect, yeah.
I'll start with you first. What do you think in her group chat is the first thing that she is complaining about, or the thing that she's saying?
My guess, and this is a total guess, I don't have any data to support this, right?
This is all podcast.
I think the first thing she's probably bitching about is all the positions she had to take to go center, and if my opinion right. Like, people like to, if there's some Trump supporters out there, they're going to argue with me saying that she was too left. But if you look at all her policy positions, not one of the motherfuckers was left. They were either center or right. And I think if she actually, and this, I don't know if she should have gone full blown progressive. I don't think that would have been helpful. But she just, everything was, like even the border wall, it was basically Trump's border wall policy. The Gaza position is a position everybody in politics has because they don't want to.
Piss off Israel.
Exactly. And I wasn't going to say it. I'm glad you did.
Oh, I'll
and even her like fiscal policy, while, you know, I appreciate what she was trying to do, it was still pretty center.
Yeah, it wasn't
So, I
that
mean,
crazy.
and I think if she actually
What'd you
had
say a
leaned
group
into
chat
it.
say?
Yeah, I think it's definitely that. It's definitely didn't hit a lot of one reason voters, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That to me is one of the main reasons why, because there were a lot of Trump supporters that went just on this. I don't give a fuck about shit else.
Right.
Can I ask y'all who y'all voted for?
Kamala.
Oh, come on.
Y'all both did.
Yeah, because
I
but
did not.
Look at my
But
goddamn
here's the
choices.
thing. But here's the thing, and I said this before going into it. It really doesn't matter who I vote for because the state that I live in, and I understand
Yeah, I
how it
agree with that.
moves.
I
It's
agree with
like
that.
it's
That's why
it's
I
pretty
didn't
much
vote, and
it's
people
pretty
be-
much gonna
Yeah.
be democratic.
It's blue.
because
They vote, yeah.
because
My
of
vote don't matter here.
the city and the surrounding suburbs are pretty much that, and that the majority of the state is, as far as the numbers, is that.
Right. I mean, as far as
population-wise.
like DuPage, Cook, and probably one other county are blue, and that forces the state to be blue. But the
'cause
rest of fucking Illinois is red.
It's red, yeah. With the exception of there's a few areas around Springfield
Right.
that are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you saying that you think she lost?
Oh,
No,
it's
but you
multiple
asked me what
reasons.
was in the text
Yeah,
thread.
you
What was
asked
the
me
first
that.
thing?
Oh,
I think
there's
that was the
multiple.
first thing.
There's multiple
I mean, obviously,
reasons why she lost.
misogyny is a huge one, right? Like,
That's your number one.
do I? As far as like the voters,
Yeah.
I don't know
On
if
the
it's
outside.
number
Now you're on the outside.
one. I don't know if it's number one, but it's definitely in the top 3.
They didn't vote for a white woman.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just, if you want to.
Well, to be fair,
'Cause
people
whether-
really hated Hillary.
and to be,
Hated her.
hated
but
Kamala,
and to
too.
be fair,
Not as much as they hated
Not
her.
as
but
much.
you
Oh,
want to
they
know
really
why?
hated her.
Because Kamala learned.
But
from what happened to Hillary to a certain extent. She didn't do the same. Now, she pandered, but she didn't pander in the same way that Kamala did.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Only reason I'm not going to say I don't agree with that. I think if she had as much time to run as Hillary, the hate would have been as high as Hillary.
That may be true.
Yeah, it might have gotten to that
less
point.
than 100 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or 120 days.
Yeah.
That the hate in 120 days was pretty goddamn high.
Yeah.
For people that don't know it, can't pronounce a name, only can pronounce a name to hate on her, all of that shit
and
was...
When you get to, like, why? Because it comes down to losing 3 or 4 states. Literally. So you want to ask why she lost the election? She lost those states. So you have to go specifically, why did she lose those states? Like, those are because...
I think she lost because this nigga's been...
But what I'm saying,
he's been in the public eye for 10 or fucking plus years.
Yeah, but Biden beat him, so I don't think his popularity is.
He's been in the public eye for 30 plus years.
Yeah, but nobody knew who Biden was on a public platform until he became Biden's VP.
But that's why it's not that
Obama's VP.
Yeah. Who'd I say? Obama's VP. Sorry, I'm not having a senior moment.
You're right.
But you're still baking him into the thing. You know what I'm saying? He's still baked into the American consciousness.
You're right about that. And again, it's not this is really a situation where there isn't one answer.
There is no one answer.
There's about 5 or 6 different reasons as why.
Black people didn't notice Biden until he became Obama's VP.
No,
but
I'm
white
talking
people
about
been watching. They knew about the car crash, his daughter dying. I mean, the people...
on a political scale... I think that rose his popularity.
With
I think he was just as popular as Newt Gingrich, right?
Yeah,
there are certain people who knew Gingrich was,
on the East
but
Coast
in the larger society, it was like who? Even Mitt Romney, right? Not Mitt Romney. What's the old one in South Carolina?
McCain?
That's about not McCain. What's the one that had the seizure on the He was giving a speech and had a stroke right in the middle of it, twice.
Damn it.
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell has been in politics for 60 years.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew who Mitch McConnell was until the last 15 years, right? That doesn't negate the fact that people knew who he was before. His popularity rose.
Because they were both in positions within the Senate and the House, et cetera, that they were career politicians where their state was so entrenched in the position that they were in, there's no way they could lose. So they were, you know what I'm saying? They were kind of those politicians where, and especially if I'm voting to represent my state, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my politics. This is this. I'm going to do that. Like, that's what they both were.
A bigger effect, especially in those areas. Like, Kamala is virtually new to a lot of people. Like, even when...
that's true.
That's what the whole thing was when how Biden got picked. First of all, she didn't do a primary. And I think that...
Well, she couldn't because Biden left too late.
Biden didn't do a primary.
Well, because he was supposed to just go ahead and do it until he just fell apart. Yeah.
But they just put that on us. They just made him
that's usually how it is with an incumbent.
So are you saying that we should change that? Because I don't hate that idea that regardless of whether you're the incumbent or not, you should have a primary. I'm okay with that.
Change? Can we change it?
Well, you can, but it's just the fact that you won't have a Democratic Party behind you. If the Democratic Party is saying, like, hey, Biden is president now, we're going to put all our support behind him, and you're an up-and-coming Democrat, and you say, hey, I want to run against him, cool, go ahead. You just won't have the support of the Democratic Party, and that's impossible.
Right.
So
agreed.
Kamala was the same way before. When she ran, she didn't get nobody voted for her. Like all of these women that are voting for her now didn't vote for her then.
I don't.
So I don't see what the switch was. It's just because he's bowing out.
I mean, they had to figure out who could replace him quickly, and I mean, there was a lot of cogs, right? We're talking about the money that he had already accumulated. There are rules in place where that money just can't go anywhere, right? It was either her or him that was going to be able to use that PAC money. If they had went with somebody else, all of that PAC money they couldn't have utilized that, right? So, I mean, it was strategic to use Kamala, and they were a bit stuck on choices at that point. It was
and I'm saying
there's only one other person who possibly could have did it, and he wasn't ready and didn't.
Who is that?
Talk about Gavin Newsom. As far as having, because the thing is, to put someone in this position, they have to have a name where somebody knows and can recognize and can, you know what I'm saying? And there's very few people in the Democratic Party
that have that level of name recognition.
Exactly.
And I agree with that.
And there's other people who do, like Pete Buttigieg does, but you're not finna do him against Trump. You're not. That's the other part.
We haven't built
Pete
Buttigieg,
yeah.
and that would have been a hard one too, right? Because he's gay.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying.
now
Like,
you would have had another thing to like push people like, oh, you want your first gay president?
She got put in a messed up position because everybody recognized, all right, you can't keep rolling Biden out here.
Right, you sure can.
You just can't. You can't keep rolling him out here.
That's
the thing is you have nobody else in place that
we don't
can
have a bench.
possibly.
Well, I'm saying we, like I bet. I mean, like I vote.
Yeah, and the only
but with the Democrats don't have a bench. What I'm saying is that the pivot in the whatever the pivot is the problem, right? Because when it was time to elect who we were gonna go with, and they picked Trump, and we put up Biden, or Democrats put up Biden, and then you had the fraction in the party where you had the Newsom crowd being like, this guy's too old, we need Newsom. Then you had other people being like, hey, we got a black woman, this VP got to step in. And then you had the majority of the people saying, let's go with the incumbent. He's the only person that ever beat Trump. That's what they kept saying, right?
Right.
So when that happened, those people folded and conceded.
Right.
So the women are like, nah, yeah, it's not Kamala's turn yet, but, he may die in office. She may step up, blah, 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 blah. We got the next person to turn. Gavin Newsom crowd is doing whatever to concede to him. But all of those people then 6-8 months later are like, back to what I was originally saying, I want to go. It's a fraction. You're pivoting. They say that the number one thing that convinces voters or attracts voters or sways voters is their friends, right? So if that's the case, if I'm telling you that, nah, you know what, Kamala's gonna get her turn. We are right in going. All these Trump supporters are being like, you putting up this old degenerate against our Trump? You are fucking tweaking. He finna blow the. And you have to make a reason of why. Nah, he's the only person that beat him. Da 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 da. 6 months later, you got to concede of why Kamala is the best person. You just was telling me in the barbershop, at the bar, wherever your friend group is, watering hole, why this person is, and in the same election turn, you got to tell me why this person. That's gonna lose you every time.
But what I'm saying is, what choice?
I can see what
we can agree that
like your friends are gonna clown you.
But
if that's the biggest, I'm gonna let you go. But if that's the biggest, they say that all political opponents on both sides, blue and red, say that the biggest sway in voters is voters' friends.
You're right. I see what
especially with undecideds, right?
How the fuck
am I gonna go to you and be like, nah, I'm gonna go with Joe, and then it's like Joe stepping out. Now what you gonna do? I'm gonna go with Kamala. Well, why you ain't stand on that 6 months ago?
Kamala. Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
It don't matter. She lost.
Her name still matters, nigga. Kamala.
The loser get clowned. And that's the other thing. Like, how the fuck, when you clown the loser, everybody like, y'all hate black women. In American politics, the loser gets fucking clowned.
But he hasn't clowned nobody, though. And that's interesting.
Who they clowned Trump when he lost?
No. I want to...
They didn't?
I want they did, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same volume.
We just had the jokes like they are rocked you.
There's many reasons why, and yes, people can look backwards and say like, why did they let Joe? Nobody saw this coming from Joe. Like he's getting the age that he's getting like, why did we push this to begin with? Why didn't we try to figure something out? Still, if you try to figure something out, again, the problem is to put somebody like Gavin Newsom, because the problem is you have to win the East Coast. Yeah. He's definitely a West Coast, and the vibe of him, you have to win Middle America.
He's pretty polarizing.
You need time for him.
Yeah.
The only other person
the other bald head dude,
Beto disappeared, and I've been really trying to figure out what
Beto O'Rourke?
Yeah.
He was running in Texas.
Yeah, I know, but he's not in no office, no nothing.
Because
he was the other person who the Democratic Party possibly could have.
Oh, Josh Shapiro for sure should have. He's a contender as well.
But
but I know what you're saying. Like, it's not Beto O'Rourke, who I do like, just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Fell off. Because the thing is being the fact he's coming from Texas, he's kind of got a different perspective of
Yeah.
The platform he'll be running, middle America is going to feed into some of the things he says. People in the South are going to kind of feed into some of the things he says.
He would have never still won Texas, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not that. It's getting the states,
trying to get the people's
outside.
buy-in,
It's trying to get Iowa back.
Yeah.
It's that type of shit. Like he might have possibly been able to do that.
Which I think Tim Walz could have done that too, even though he was brand
which
spanking.
he didn't have enough.
He didn't have enough runway to build.
And that's literally what the problem with the Democratic Party is yes, and unfortunately, I don't know when they'll be comfortable enough for a lot of people to vote for a woman. Just in a general sense. I don't Republican, Democrat, I don't give a fuck what party it is. Like, that will be like, all right, I'm going to vote for a woman. So there's that part. Right now, the Democrats don't have many people that garner anything that would get people to be like, all right, I'll go ahead and vote.
I mean, they do it in small little pockets.
Yeah, but it's
there's
not
nobody who. Well, wait a minute. I mean, let's be a little fair here, because nobody knew who the fuck Obama was. Shout out to Obama before he started running for president. I mean, we knew him in Illinois, but he had no name recognition in the rest of the country.
But here's the thing: he was a culmination of things that now everybody uses now, and that's the internet. That's the other part. So he got young people on the internet in college and a little bit older and et cetera. He went the way he campaigned, nobody else was campaigning like that. Right. So he had a different strategy that now everybody uses. So that was part of the reason it was part of the reason that the country, there were certain people who were just fed up with Republicans.
Right.
So you had that on top. Like there were multiple reasons why this happened. And then you had a lot of people who came out and vote who might not have voted in a very long time for various reasons.
Right. I think that has a big thing to do with it. There's a lot of people like myself that didn't vote, like that just didn't vote. I'm one that believes that you need to leverage the vote, and if you can't leverage the vote, then it don't matter. It's a vote to the win. But to what you were saying, like the Democratic Party doesn't have a bench, right? We can agree.
Not
with
a strong bench.
Not a strong bench. Yeah.
So like Hakeem Jeffries, right, was instrumental in making Biden step down, speaking up to Kamala.
Him and Nancy Pelosi, yes.
Right. And she was retired. So at the time, or now, but.
No, she just ran. She's not retiring yet. Nancy Pelosi, she's staying.
I think she just stepped down from whatever
whatever her role is.
She's still, no. She's still no, I'm staying in my seat, but I just ain't got I won't hold the title that I used to hold, whatever it was.
Whatever it is in the House.
Yeah, the majority leader, whatever.
There are stars that are in the Democratic Party that the Democratic Party doesn't get behind, right? Like, so there's a bench, and when you look at the bench, they all decided to go with Biden. Is what is my point here. And back to what I was saying is, everybody knew Biden was too old, and they were putting in, if you're from the West Coast, Gavin Newsom, if you're from the East Coast, Hakeem Jeffries, if you old Nancy Pelosi, and you putting all these things, and then we go with Biden, and it's like, all right, fuck it, we go on with Biden. And then 6 months later, they're like, well, now we're going Biden. Then it's back fractured, and everybody like, let's go with this person, and then we go with the VP. And then now it's what I'm saying is, they're bullying. They're almost, people that were for Kamala almost try to bully us into the vote, right? So when black people or black men are seeing this and being like, y'all kind of swaying over there. I'm gonna go with Trump, because at least I know with Trump, he gave me money or he did this or whatever. And that was dismissed. And that's why she lost. She dismissed the black, I don't want to say black men, but when black men are like, they hemming and hawing, she sent her, when they say they weaponize their base or they weaponize their audience or like all of them AKAs and all of them women that were for her, like how she raised $35 million in a day, all of those people that paid for that turned on us and was like, y'all tripping. If y'all don't vote for her, y'all are blank.
So can I, to that point, right, and I'll say this, I think it's okay to have questions for your politicians, right?
Now when you lose.
What I'm going to say,
you couldn't have questions.
This is not a monolith on black men. It's not an indictment on black men. But what I did
I'm not doing a gender war.
What I did see when men have questions about Kamala was there weren't questions. It was like she slept with dude to get to the top, right? Is she even really black? There was no, and I said this earlier in the podcast, people are not analytical. These questions were not being analytical, trying to further probe. They were indictments against her character using things that have shit to do with the damn election.
But that's what the majority, So,
but nobody does that with Trump. Nobody's sitting there like
because it's already baked in, and I'm gonna tell you why. Everybody says that, or anybody that knows or does or plays politics knows politics is a game of addition and not subtraction.
Okay.
Trump, whether he tries or doesn't try, he's adding. When that nigga steps on the stage, all he has to do is, the more I go out, I'm gonna add. And why that is, we're still trying to figure out.
It's because he's a cult of personality. Yeah, that's
right.
Why.
Charismatic, whatever the fuck it is that's so, and that's the thing. You could be in a room with 10 people and everybody got 10 different reasons.
Right.
Kamala needs to have that. Right?
She doesn't. Yeah.
The reason that I'm bought in on her is that one reason. If you go around a room of 100 people, 99 of them got that same reason. You need to add different things. And she didn't speak to poor, average people that are not analytical. And that's what it is in the sense of people that don't analyze.
It's your show. Why are you raising your hand?
No, I'm just saying, people that don't, he's next. But people that don't, I'm saying that people that don't analyze aren't looking to analyze, right? If I haven't analyzed in the last election, I'm not like, oh, I just picked who I picked in that last election because I didn't have enough information. Next election, more information out. No, they vote off of heart.
I want to come back to that.
Why are we arguing about black men voting for?
That was going to be my next point.
Kamala and not voting for Kamala when the same percentage of black men voted for Biden. Voted
Actually,
for Kamala.
Slightly up. But to your point,
but it was 78% of black men voted for Kamala.
But I know, and it was 80%. 2% is not. That's not a lot. That's not. What I'm saying is it's roughly. It's about the same.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that, in effect, to be honest with you, our vote didn't really affect this election.
I totally agree with you.
Either way,
I would say all the marginalized groups, except one, did not have a giant impact on whether Trump won or not. 1,000%. It was two specific groups. One's marginalized, one is not. That caused Trump to win, hands down.
Yeah.
One more than the other. But you're right. We really, and that's really not where I was going with what I said, right? Black men are not the reason that she lost at all. But Steve said something that's interesting, right? That, and I guess this is where my irritation comes with the whole black men and a conversation about Kamala. Like, they moved forward with Trump. Obviously not all right, but they moved forward with Trump with no real data and no real reason, right? They just want to like him for the sake of liking him. And it's the exact opposite with Kamala. We're not being analytical. They don't really know why they don't like her. They just dislike her to dislike her. And that was what people were getting upset about. You don't have to like her. You don't have to agree with her, but you have to be analytical on the whys.
You don't have to be analytical.
Well, you should. I'm sorry, you're right. You should be analytical on the whys, but if you just like Trump because you like Trump and you have no real reasons to, and then you say your reasons to dislike Kamala, and those are not real reasons too.
Well,
people are not going to like that.
Hold on. It's not even that. It's just the fact that Trump gets these people. I like this one thing. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, I don't care if he's a felon. I don't care if he grabs
with any Democrat, you're never going to get that.
Oh, that's fair.
No, you know what I'm saying? It's not. You're never going to get the. You're never going to get people who are going to be like, well, I like this one thing. Skip everything else. You may get it with some people, but for the majority, it's not. It's more policy driven. This is how I stand, et cetera, et cetera.
But the thing is, people aren't even policy driven. They just like him just to like him.
But that's the. I'm glad you said that, because that's the understanding. She can't fight that same fight. You got to understand what you're up against.
Right.
So when people are asking her of her apologies, you have to sell people. You can't just go against something that's baked in. Every time I ask you about you talk about him, and they already have them baked in.
Well, that's not totally true. She did have policies in place.
But that's not what she talked about.
She did.
No. Whenever her whole policy and how she ran, one, she never talked about how he was a felon or the camp. I'm not gonna say she didn't talk about it. She didn't campaign on it. She didn't hang her hat on that. She didn't. They quieted Tim Walz. It's a lot.
I agree with that part.
There was a lot of things that were happening that people were going hard for her, and she was toning it down. Like I said, it's a game of addition. You can't. People that are already for Trump are for Trump for whatever reason it is. Her campaign was trying to win them over. It's every time you talk to her about something, she tries to tell you why she's better than him. No, all you have to do is Give me your plan and what you do and ignore him and let me pick between the two.
But she did do that and people still, I mean, she sat there and talked about how she was going to do the money for home ownership. She was going to give a $6,000 credit, child tax credit. She was going to do the business loan. And I don't disagree with you. Nobody cares about a business loan because most people are not entrepreneurs. And
she didn't speak to the poorest of the poorest of the poorest of the country. And that's what he does. When he gets on stage and he speaks and be like, man, I'm kicking these.
Does he though? To the poorest of the poor?
They think that they're being spoken
to
like
Thank
that.
you, because I'm like, no, he doesn't.
Like when she says, hey, as soon as I get in office, I'm taxing the rich and I'm putting a blah, 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 blah on gain tax.
Capital gains, yeah.
All these people see themselves in, I see myself as Trump one day. So I see you taxing me one day.
Yeah, right.
It's not terrible. It's not real, but it's what I'm saying. He's tapping into I don't want to say a falsehood. Just like he said, I'll build the wall. Never built it. You know what I'm saying? But it's what you want to hear. She's not telling me what I want to hear. But even as black men, you're not telling me what I want to hear as a black man.
That doesn't change. Whether it's
and you got to understand she's up against a double standard.
But the whole argument of black men voting for her and not voting for her really makes no difference, right? It really doesn't.
No, I'm saying
it doesn't affect.
We didn't know that until after the fact.
It doesn't.
I'm saying in the campaign in the weeks up, which I couldn't say. I couldn't say all up into this. What I'm saying is every time you try to make any type of trepidation about Kamala online and on social media, they're never addressing the trepidation. It's, are you on our side or not? What side of the fence are you on? Oh, so you for him. If you're questioning her, and it's like, hold on. So now I'm saying when we're doing an autopsy of the fucking party, we see how that fared y'all. You have to listen to the other side or it's people that feel disenfranchised.
You expect a politician not to politic? Maybe their politics are bad and their politics aren't good. And I know the reason Trump wins, but Trump doesn't politic. That's exactly what he doesn't do. He entertains.
He does not give you any policy breakdown.
No, but he doesn't.
Went on Saturday Night
No,
Live
but he doesn't. He doesn't try to straddle lines. Like he doesn't try to really bounce back. He just will say the fuck he wants to feel and this, that, and the third. He's not politicking, right?
But you're doing what she's doing. You're comparing her to, you gotta understand, it's a different, it's a double standard.
No,
Don't compare yourself to him.
But what I'm saying is what she's trying to do is to politic, right?
Yeah.
And if you're trying to politic against someone when you have so many of these other things against you, again, as harsh as it may sound, a white man, a man attempting to do the same thing that Kamala did probably would have won. And
these are facts. These are completely
that because there are so many.
Capacity?
Because Trump has never beaten a man.
Wait, what?
He hasn't.
He hasn't. That's not an untrue
statement. Beaten a man?
No, in an election he didn't.
The 3 elections that he went, 2 were women, 1 was a man. He won against both the women.
Yes, he beat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So a white man. Somebody, there are tons of people who are simply, I don't give a fuck. There are Democrats who will not vote for a woman. I'm just saying, like, there are people who are like that. I'm not voting for a woman. And I don't give a fuck what your policies are, what's happening. It's unfortunate.
Are we done with that?
No, that's the country we live in.
I'm saying, is the Democratic Party running a woman again?
At some point in the future, I'm sure.
I'm sure they will.
But to Steve, that's kind of why women, AKAs or whoever, were getting on black men who had these remarks, because a lot of their remarks seem like the only reason that they were pushing back is because she had a vagina.
I can see that. Men didn't articulate their points.
And if they were honest, they would be honest and say, I don't want to vote for her because she got a pussy. I mean, to my point, like, a lot of the pushback was just because everybody was uncomfortable voting for a woman.
That's fine, but you didn't address that. You knew that.
That was actually wise of her.
Day one of your 100 campaign, you knew that black men have a problem because they think you lock black men up.
But that's why she came up with all these weird policies to try to win y'all over.
But it was too late. It was.
I don't disagree.
So what I'm saying is when you lost, this is not her first time running for president. When she ran for president before, she didn't have the black male vote. So your first thing to do...
Well, she didn't have nobody's vote.
Well, she was in a primary, technically. She was just in a primary.
So, no, that's what I'm saying. Even in that, when you primary up against your own party, nobody voted for you. And these same people are trying to tell everybody that, no, this is the pick to go. When 6 months earlier, you was telling me that Biden is the pick and he's not sick.
Yeah,
all right, cool. Let's move from there. And now, cool. Now, your first move is to AKA is how would women stand up. Black women.
Well,
35 minutes.
I have a question.
Cool.
I have a question.
Black men.
You honestly think that's the reason she lost the election?
No. Yes and no. I'm saying yes in the sense of black men, I don't think got off the couch and voted like that. But at the same time, the same way that I said friends motivate other people. So the same way that when you go to the barbershop and everybody talking about Obama, whether 99% of them in there voting or not, everywhere I go, they talking about Obama. And as a voter, if I am a voter, it's like, I'm gonna check Obama.
That meme was funny.
That's nobody was talking about. And so what I'm saying, also the black vote or the black president nostalgia is worn off. I don't think that
of who Obama.
Just period of somebody being like it's a black woman president. Everybody got to get behind it. I think Obama absorbed all of that.
Nah, not necessarily.
No, I don't disagree
not necessarily.
with that.
There's because of
who we
her,
vote for just because they black.
If her background, no. If she's a black woman from Detroit, from DC, like
I don't think
it's a different because there's no conversations about her background and where she's from.
Do you think Michelle would have won? Because a lot of people kept throwing out.
I've never seen her in a political.
That's not the question whether you see it or not. The question is, would Michelle have won?
I will say this: it would have been It would have been interesting because in the same way that Barack did, Michelle would have got a lot of people to come out and vote that don't go vote, right? That Kamala can never get,
right?
Or Kamala can never get. The problem is that at the time, no. If she had a runway, maybe. Right? Maybe. But again,
given the same circumstances of him stepping out in 100 days?
Absolutely. I don't think so.
I don't think anybody could have won under those.
Okay.
I think
maybe Tim Walz, you put a good white man up in there.
The only people who could have, again, because they're not, it's not like, that's the other part. Because again, it's the going into it, just for the Democratic Party, going into it, you're not looking at it like Biden's not going to do anything. So then even going 2 years ago, you're not prepping anybody. You kind of did with Gavin Newsom because nobody paid attention. He started popping up on CNN. There's a reason. You're trying to feel this person out for the national landscape, putting him a West Coast dude on the national. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to feel out to see can he?
Yeah.
Can he pull this off? Can he do that? Because they don't have many people that, again, you got to ring some national bells. They've tried with people and it failed. Cory Booker tried, failed. Right, you know what I'm saying?
He has no charisma.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They've tried. They want to try Shapiro, but Shapiro unfortunately has downfalls. That is not. I don't think he's a bad person, but there's a lot of people who are not going to vote for him because of his religion and his background.
Because he's Jewish. Now.
They're not. It's just not going to happen, right? There's a ceiling on him. Same thing. If Tim Walz was younger, if let's say he's
the same age as Kamala. Damn, I got me doing it now.
But in the sense of he doesn't come off like Gavin does.
True. He comes off very homegrown, very
but a little bit older. But your dad, you're not somebody you want to hang out with. That's the thing. Like to a certain section of people you want to hang out with, right? You need some of that. As far as if you're gonna trot somebody out there who's not that known, you need some charisma. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Gavin has it, but the thing is he's got a certain charisma that's gonna rub people the wrong way.
But Tim Walz has a charisma. He's
but
very
he has
charming.
Again, if you can take those two and put them together, because
they would be like the super Democrat.
For the Democratic Party, they don't have, because they're missing over here where some people are going to be like, I don't fuck with that. And this purple over here, I'm like, I don't fuck with that. So
a Shapiro Walz ticket or a Walz Shapiro ticket
maybe
would be real.
Well, maybe. I think you have to. Then it's policy driven.
2028.
It's not character driven. Like they made this character driven. Kamala versus Trump.
They made it personality driven.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's
exactly what I meant.
It's
when
like
you do those two lifelong politicians, then the white noise of it is the characters don't matter. And I think that's the thing of what Trump did. Trump is not.
If you tell me this man had a policy, I promise you I'll throw this mic in.
It doesn't matter his policy, and that's what I was about to say. His policy doesn't matter. What they voted for was white power. They're not going to concede white power to a black woman. Yeah. And so what I'm saying is his ability to pick Supreme Court seats, all of this shit going forward. I don't give a fuck if it was a fucking white zit on somebody's face. They'd have voted for it over her because it's more in our interest. So I think that's what it boiled down to.
The abortion thing.
And Tim Walz didn't help that. Is my point of Tim Walz. He didn't speak.
They didn't utilize him like they could.
Well, he tried. He jumped.
But
out.
He missed up a couple times and misspoke.
He jumped out right. He jumped out crazy.
But he misspoke about himself. It's not like he misspoke about a
policy.
policy.
But in this late in the game, everything is much more.
Okay, fair.
You know what I mean? Yeah, everything's bigger now. Where if this is months ago and you early in the campaign, it's like,
no, you're right.
Let me ask you this: do you think she runs again?
No, don't do it, Kamala. Do speaking engagements, write a book, get your money.
I think the most she might ever do is maybe go back to Cali and be governor. Maybe.
She could probably do that.
Maybe. But I don't see her doing anything else.
Or is she? Where is she now? In Annapolis, or she's in the D.C. area somewhere? Maybe she run there, like be a governor in one of those states.
I don't know. I think that
she should never run again. And I'm gonna say this. This is gonna be my hot take. I meant to say it earlier. I think the Republicans would have a woman win faster than the Democrats.
Because there's
I think you might be right with that.
Yeah, I mean,
because Nikki Haley almost.
No, it's gotta be
Sarah Palin.
No. I'm just you.
No.
Sarah Palin.
No, I'm saying introducing a woman that was acceptable as a character, not on policy. I'm saying.
You mean like the cult of personality type of person?
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
If his daughter had some sort of personality,
Ivanka or Ivana, whichever one she is.
Yeah, Ivanka. If she
Ivanka
had,
name ain't gonna never get.
But it's not that. It's because of the name. Carrying that, it would carry, but she doesn't.
She's not as. I see where you're going,
but she doesn't just.
I don't hate her as a pick. She's not the same personality as her dad, so she would be taken more seriously as a candidate,
but she doesn't
right?
Have any charisma.
But she doesn't have the charisma.
I disagree. She does have charisma. She's just not her dad. She's a dead fish. She has more of that's untrue.
But here's the problem is she doesn't have enough charisma.
That's what's gonna kill her. The fact that she's attractive. That is going to be gonna totally mess up her campaign.
All right, look,
she's pretty.
I'm glad you said that because this is what I meant to say. How much did the pantsuits have to do? Because
you can't wear.
Oh, so I'm saying if Ivanka, somebody like that runs,
she's gonna wear pantsuits.
Because
she's so attractive. You know, people want to see you in some type of.
It doesn't matter.
You have to play the audience though.
But she's married. She can't. And the same.
And Jewish
for Republicans, and then you can't. There's only so much she can do because she is married. You got to remember that too. Like if she was single, maybe you can get away with. I know what you're trying to say, but no.
Them Fox anchors be married too.
But it's different when you're running for office.
But you're not running for office. It's different. You're not running for the highest position in the land.
This evangelical base, you're going to lose part of that.
Evangelical. I'm tired of that shit. That shit does not matter. They voted for a fucking 39-time felon who grabbed bitches by the pussy.
But that don't matter.
They don't give a fuck.
Do you know?
So it's the
evangelical. No, but you're missing. You're missing Trump. But Trump is the second. Yeah, that you're missing that part.
Yeah,
you didn't get that memo from what's the Chan, H Chan, Q Chan, or whatever the fuck, Fo Chan, that shit.
What was the memo? Somebody help me.
Oh, that Jesus is the second. Trump is the second
coming of Jesus.
Nobody said that.
Nobody
said that.
They saying that.
No,
I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm trying to will it to not have happened.
No, I'm just saying
it already happened.
I'm just saying.
And now him winning.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like that.
I told you. Yeah, they really have zealots. They
really on that. They really on that.
White boy just punched me at the gas station.
Back to Ivana. I apologize. I don't remember which one.
It's the K.
It's the K. Ivanka.
Yeah. She the first K in the Ku Klux
She has
Klan.
a couple of blockers, right? She would get the name recognition for the Trump. She's Jewish and she's really, really attractive. She cannot go around wearing dresses because that would murder her. So I think ultimately her campaign would be plagued with the fact that she's really, really attractive and Jewish.
Let me ask you a question of mine. We can get off this lecture because we got other topics. I want to ask you a question about the fact of what the Snub said here a couple episodes ago about
Snub.
You ain't watched that episode, but
I came in saying I need to watch y'all more.
That shit been doing numbers. that Snub episode is crazy. Shout out to Snub.
Both of them doing.
Shout out Snub. But Snub said, and he could be one of them fact chasers, niggas that just say facts. Mm-hmm. But he said 64% of the country is.
We do a random data. Okay, love it.
Not country. 64% of the world look at women as less than, and so. How could she? It would be hard for her to even be a president and then hold foreign affairs.
Bullshit. We have like, I don't know, 12 or 13 countries right now with women leaders.
Yeah,
That's bullshit.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, but they're liberal. But I'm saying, if you're trying to do a deal with
Mexico, France, they have women leaders. France is absolutely not liberal.
Not liberal, but progressive. What's
No, they're very
not.
conservative.
They're very conservative.
See, that's how you know motherfuckers don't know politics.
Like, you know what's happening?
Just weird shit.
In the
and
last,
you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
They got sister countries.
No, but
They
they're
don't
not.
be
Their
women.
politics,
No.
nigga.
They let women ride bikes, is what I'm saying.
Do you know
Nigga,
when
what
they
year
were?
is this? Oh my god.
Do you know?
No, they can't ride bikes.
No, because like the whole reason
drive
people were scared of protests is because the last 3 or 4 years in France they've been protesting the police because specifically they killed a black Muslim kid, 16-year-old kid in his own film and all that. So and the thing is that they still behind him. Also, Macron basically did some straight dictator shit and said when he lost the parliament vote, which is it was gonna flip to his not his party.
But all of these people,
he said, nah, fam, scratch that vote because I'm president. I can scratch that vote and we gonna re-vote again.
Wow. Did he win the second time?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Wow.
you do it. You playing a game like that,
Nigga, that.
No, but I'm saying, all right, but like, Jamar Khashoggi, what was the journalist that was killed? I know his last name was
he
was
Gaza,
killed in Turkey.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying,
Oh, he's killed in Turkey. Thank you.
So what I'm saying, as an American president, you go over there and try to negotiate, and in their country, you can't even look them in the eye as a woman. How can you negotiate American citizens?
Well, Turkey is a very
you can in
democratic.
Turkey,
that would
but he's
not
Saudi
be
Arabia.
the case.
He was killed in the Saudi Arabian embassy
in that
Turkey,
environment of all of that. When and usually the president doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? They have
some kind of delegate go.
all of that. But even still, it's in that. Do you think that played a part in?
No. America has its own little special microcosm of misogyny. We don't need to lean on Saudi Arabia or Iran or Iraq's misogyny to boast our own. We have our own. We have enough.
We support them though. So
We don't.
Here's the thing.
we don't support Saudi Arabia.
Well, they support us. Actually, it's the reverse. It's actually more the reverse.
I was talking about more Iraq and Iran, but Saudi Arabia.
Are you saying they support each other, Iraq and Iran?
No, you said don't we support them? I thought you were talking about Iraq and Iran. That's why I was like, no.
But
then you said Saudi Arabia, and I was well, that's a different
crown,
question.
The crown prince is who killed Jamal Khashoggi.
It's because they support us.
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
With oil?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally
agree.
Politics makes
That's why we let them. It's great. I mean, it's one of there's many fucking videos you can watch about it, but the shit that Saudi Arabia gets away with, like the fact that we look at countries like Iran or Iraq before, as bad as they were, it's like Saudi Arabia is 10 times worse. But they're our best friends. And it's really literally because we couldn't control the other ones. The other two were like, what? Fuck you. I'm not. What are you talking about?
Well, it's also because every time we put somebody in place there, yes, I'm gonna dig into that. Every time the U.S. has tried to put leadership in place, this is true. These are all truths, right? Like Bin Laden and the other one we killed, we actually put them in place. They decided they didn't want to do what the fuck we wanted them to do, and then that's when they became our national enemies. Yeah. So,
it's because they were against the Russians originally, and then then we were no longer against the Russians like that, and didn't know what to do, and they were against other people that we're supposedly friends with, and it was like, nah, we're not siding with you.
Like Netanyahu. Y'all know we put him in place, right? He went to Penn, right? Yeah. Like he's an American over there running Israel.
Well, the only country
that's amazing.
It's just China and Russia pretty much left.
The axis of evil.
We don't have any control
over. Correct.
Everybody else we put in place. Yeah, North Korea.
That is not no tinfoil hat. You can go to Google and find out everything I said being accurate.
Only reason
that's the axis of evil.
It's just only reason I leave North Korea out is because Russia and trying to have more global power.
Yeah, North Korea is just basically like a screaming toddler.
Yeah, they don't really have a lot of global power as far as.
All right, let's stay with foreign affairs.
Is this how stuff goes with Javen in here?
Yeah, smooth.
Okay.
I
didn't say that, Javen. I just asked a question.
You tried. I will say about this election, I feel like there were more political pundits.
What do you mean?
Like on social media, like people were passionately speaking. Like you said, not an analytical, don't know the information, don't know policy, but they passionately feel one way or the other.
That's because of the age of the podcasts. I want to say since, the last 5 years, podcasts have become kind of a big fucking thing. And I think that's why there's everybody has a platform and everybody is able to have an opinion.
I'm saying on social media, just when actually, and so like in real time when she was losing. So how people are like, blaming people or can't believe she losing, or people saying like,
it's black man's fault,
or saying whoever fault it is, because people saying Puerto Ricans or whatever because they couldn't believe that they called them garbage and then they still voted for him, or the people that's not believing it being like this is a red mirage, her vote's gonna come in later, like just the disbelief, the disconnect from reality. You know what I'm saying? Of people being like, nah, she can't lose. You know, what I'm saying?
Everybody just has a platform, so everybody has the ability to potentially get their viewpoint. Yeah.
I do really find it interesting how quiet it has been.
For the AKAs?
No, for him.
Oh.
What do you mean?
For Trump.
The AKAs,
tell me more about that.
AKAs been quiet too.
Look, how much outside of the little recorded...
I follow him I follow him on Twitter. He's not quiet.
No, I'm saying... No. Social media is not, you know what I'm saying, it's just him rant, but I'm saying visually seeing him somewhat gloating a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, he just came out today and said he was going to do something as part of his first 30 days.
Somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Do you kind of feel what I'm saying? Like, same thing with JD Vance, same thing with same thing to a certain extent with Elon. Like, there hasn't been this.
Like, we saw them every day.
Yeah.
Something.
And,
they're taking a break. They've been fucking in.
But no, I mean, here's the thing. If you've been talking shit about beating a motherfucker ass and you beat a motherfucker ass, you going to all of a sudden get quieted after you beat the ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, you all of a sudden gonna be like,
nah, that group chat going crazy.
Now he's coming up with those. He's coming up with those concepts of those policies that he promised us before.
And I also think this is his second go round, and I think that the things he wasn't prepared for before, like he wasn't prepared to assign all of those seats or whoever.
Yeah, he's busy.
Like appointing all of those appointments that he had to do. He wasn't prepared. I think he's a little more prepared now, or he has in mind. And I think that's another reason why you get votes and shit like that. It's the politics behind it, where it's like,
who gives you
the wild
money?
shit?
Like Elon, that whole shit of him giving $1 million per whatever.
It was more than that, but I give to the people who do this,
to do the vote. If you register to vote, and then it was like a random.
It was a raffle,
but it was like I put in. I ain't gonna lie. I put in stocks Monday before the election just to see. I'm gonna tell you what I put in. I put in $100 on Nvidia, Microsoft, Uber, and I can't think of the last one. It wasn't Tesla.
Okay.
It wasn't Tesla.
I mean, that's fine. Whatever it is,
but whatever it is. But what I'm saying is, I figured these would do good under either administration, and I wanted to see. It was kind of a test to see like what the election would do to these stocks. You know what I'm saying? And no, I did do Tesla, but it's not Tesla. It's something above Tesla that owns Tesla. Okay. So all of them went up within 3 days or 4 days. Today being the weekend. But the shit shot up immensely. And so my point is, I think Elon with the SpaceX shit saw that coming. Like, I have a better end.
Oh well, yeah. That's
like Kamala's not buying into what I'm doing, or they're regulating what I'm doing, and he's.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the Wild West again.
He got a Space Force.
No, it's the
whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no, it's the fact of
same thing with my last thing was the same thing with RFJK or
RFK.
Yeah,
RFK.
It's the deregulation of things, right? It's the deregulation of things. Like what I was gonna say is it's interesting to see people when they if the Department of Education goes away, how many?
Oh yeah, he just announced that today.
Yeah, but the people realize
announced what? Wait, hold on.
He announced that he's getting rid of the Department of Education.
But people understanding that.
What does that mean for me? I got young kids.
Well,
what does that mean for me?
Here's the thing. It necessarily,
I know it's education is state level,
if
right?
If you're in a state that is democratic for the most part,
it don't matter.
It will matter, but immediately it can be interesting. But the real what I was gonna say is the messed up thing is these Trump voters who got kids who got autism and those programs go away.
I think it's going to have
all those. I mean, literally, but
it's going to affect public schools.
It's going to affect public schools heavily. Heavily.
So if your child's in public school,
curriculum,
funding, literally
everything,
like literal funding.
So all right, so let's just
And regular.
It's also going to affect college,
let's just
right?
peel it back. If the federal government gets rid of the Department of Education, schools are now run by the state, which they normally are, but they get their funding from the federal government.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, they don't get their federal funding from the federal government to subsidize schools because schools primarily are supposed to be funded by the taxpayers, by the property tax. Okay. So now schools are solely run on property tax. So now, how does that affect? What I'm hearing is that when the property tax is low, the schools will be low.
But that's how it's supposed to work, Steve. But that's not how it actually works. Because actually, most schools, especially in major cities, they rely more on federal funding than property tax.
That's what I'm saying. No, I get that. That's my point. I'm saying that schools primarily get their funding from the property tax of the area, and where the gap is filled by the federal government.
No, what I'm saying is how it's used.
That's not true.
No, I'm saying how it's actually end up used, especially like in the city.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying on paper. Is that how it's drawn up? This school. If I make a new school on the end of this block, we ask how he's going to pay for it. The politicians say we're going to be paid for it by the property tax of the surrounding area. We say, cool, build the school. They build the school. 2 years later, they're low on funding or whatever. That funding that they're low on is subsidized by the federal government, is what y'all saying? I'm asking. I'm
not educated enough to know.
It's not directly like that. You know what I'm saying?
What does the federal government do for the local school thing? If it's state run, if the schools are run by the state, what does the federal government do?
The federal government, basically, the state gets the money from the federal government and then basically disperses it out.
But here becomes my question: don't they deal with policies around schools as well?
Yeah, they deal with, but that's
what I'm more concerned about.
It's more of,
that's why I thought curriculum.
There's certain, but it's not. No, curriculum is state based.
They do curriculum.
Curriculum is more state based.
Okay, so
but I'm talking about more like
what is federal based by the school?
But it's the literal. Yeah, you can. But some of the literal funding, like paying the teachers and having the janitors and the lights on and like that type of shit. The food being there, the programs that you have that are implemented that help fund things that you don't necessarily know about, like the grants. All that shit is through the Department of Education. A lot of schools run on grants.
Grants in grammar school, do you?
Yeah,
but the Department of Education also does universities too. Sweetie.
Yeah.
They do college too.
No, I'm saying everything below college. I understand.
No, they do
college.
everything.
The university and college. I understand that. I'm saying, I'm more being selfish than speaking of me and him with young children. So what I'm saying is, how does this affect our young kids that's entering public school or going to public school?
I would be more concerned about policy,
know.
Right, around like segregation. They were the reason that schools have to be desegregated, right? Yeah. If you get rid of the Department of Education, who's going to be managing whether schools stay segregated or they become integrated?
And I wonder how Title IX is affected. But then,
I mean, that's just from a policy perspective that makes it scary for parents, right? Yeah. Who have children in public schools.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
now they ultimately could be run like private schools as far as like who can and
I might not.
But here in the city, the weird thing with I don't fully understand the charter school and the public school. Like there's a because we live in a place that's very like it's different than most.
All right,
like,
so
you know
this
what I'm saying?
It's not
federal
funding to local schools is typically provided to address specific needs and provide priorities rather than general operating expenses. Some primary areas where federal funds are allocated include Title I funding supports schools with a high percentage of students from low-income families. So that's what I was saying, in areas where the property tax can't do what it needs to do.
Yeah, I knew that.
Aimed at improving educational outcomes for disadvantaged students. Special education. That's
what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Yes, it's programs.
And then that's what I was thinking of, the child nutrition. So the lunchrooms and shit. So funds are provided to support schools' meal programs. The ELL, English language learners, is federal. Mm-hmm. So if you got these migrants kids, school improvement and innovation. So I guess when they do new shit like computers and shit like that, they would get that from the laptops if we, COVID.
Yeah,
so that school improvement would be some grants support innovative educational programs, teacher development. That's good. STEM education and technology enhancement, and then safety and mental health. So
it's a lot of programs that we normalize as being like, this is just a part of school.
We gotta get the Black Panthers back.
That this is like, nah, this
shit,
kids in the morning. This shit gonna go away. I will say too, I don't know. He spoke about it too. the fucking birthright citizenship, like that just, it hits home a lot. Yes, my girl's parents are citizens, but she is first generation born here, so technically birthright citizenship will fall on her. But it's that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it will affect people that she knows for sure if you start doing that. But also, this is what I was trying to explain to somebody else. If they really do that shit, it's gonna affect everybody. Because where the fuck are they getting the money to fund this? Because the amount of money that it is going to take to wrap up this many people, house these people, or hell, even if you literally want to push them all out the country, what if they're not all from Mexico or from the South or from there? Like, where are you gonna house these people? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what do you?
So we finna say
no. What I'm saying is, no, you're not. You're not, because you have to have people physically do this.
They said it costs $8 million to deport 100 people.
Yes.
That shit is crazy.
8 point something for just to deport one person?
100.
Because it's the amount of people who have to get paid to put somebody through that process. Even if you fast forward that process, right? Like that, y'all ready for that?
Well, do you think we gonna?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Locking kids in cages.
I've said this.
Just marching down the fucking street.
I have said this on my social media, and I mean this. I can't wait for them to start deporting people. It's gonna be great. Here's why. Because avocado's gonna all of a sudden get $30, and then people gonna be like, "Why the fuck is my avocado $30?"
I'm tired of avocados too. I'm tired.
No, but what I'm saying is, food is gonna all of a sudden cost like what it actually should cost for Americans to pick it. It's gonna be $1 million.
No, but
for food that we
them farmers they hiding them. Like I didn't see the doc. They had that on American Crime. They had that shit on American Crime. Where
they hiding the Mexican pickers.
Like they put them under.
Okay, so who gonna do the construction then?
Yeah, it's not just. I'm just picking farm. The whole.
Let me tell you something. If you're making this country money, there's a way.
They're gonna figure it out. Yeah,
there's a way.
Steve,
your workers.
Steve, do you?
You might be your own entrepreneur. What about you got to work for a white man?
If you go with birthright citizenship, what about all these doctors?
He actually said he's getting rid of that too.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. So, if you go with birthright citizenship, what about all these doctors?
And if we're talking about making money, we all know migrants pay into Social Security. They pay into the tax system for things that they can't even pull out. So there is money to be made to have these people here.
But that's where you just spoke about the problem. What you just spoke about is you're not paying into the national thing.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, if you have
they are.
If you have a Social Security number, you are.
They don't.
They don't have a Social Security number, and it's still paying into those benefits. Yes, they are.
How?
Where do you think? Where do you think taxes go? Where do you think city taxes go? If they own property, where do you think those taxes go?
I have a question.
And we forget migrants do have legal. There are migrants with legal jobs.
What if you have a household where
you can't be a migrant with W-2?
Let me ask you this:
Yes, you can. What does you being a migrant have to do with you getting a W-2?
You have to put a social.
Yeah, you can get a social.
You can still be a migrant with a Social Security number.
You can get a social.
You said they didn't have one.
I said there are some that don't.
But you can get it through various reasons,
you can do that.
Various ways before you actually are a citizen.
Yes.
There's various ways to get a Social Security number. But what if it's a household where there's one person who's a citizen legally here for sure. There's kids who are birthright. There's somebody else who is completely not a citizen, right? You gonna take this person up out the crib for what?
No, they're taking everybody according to Trump.
I know.
Everybody going.
But no, not the citizen though.
Yeah, he said everybody's going.
No,
I want us all to be like.
He's trying to. The birthright shit is is because that's if your parents weren't citizens and you were here, and you were born here, you're considered a citizen, even though your parents
rid of that.
are.
I want us to be really. I know I said this earlier. Analytical. Do you think these people are going to be parsing out people who have legal paperwork who don't? No. If you in a household together, they're getting rid of all you motherfuckers. No. They are not doing the research to figure out who has citizenship and who does not.
No, that's why I seen an argument with somebody trying to tell motherfuckers like, you think they're gonna make a difference? They're gonna parse out that you a Cuban that works at a bank and your family who don't speak any English. No, right. They're not gonna check that you work at a bank. No, and that you guys are okay.
I think it will be a line in the sand where it's like, can you show this?
No, they're not.
But I think that's what they're saying with the fascist shit, where it's like this is becoming a fascist state, where it's like show your papers. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when they run in your house. People that have their paperwork together, I think will be straight. People that don't, they'll be like,
Steve, you're naive if you think that's true.
I don't matter to me.
Yeah, running in the house. Running in the house is
illegal. Right?
I mean, let's take the whole like Haitians eating cats thing, right? They kept saying those migrants were illegal, and they weren't. They are here legally. They have visas, and they have all the paperwork in place for them to actually be down in Ohio working. So they are not making. They are intentionally.
But he compounded two truths.
But no, what I'm pointing to, Steve, is that they're intentionally making migrants. It don't matter whether you're legal or not. They're making them all look like they need to go. Is really what you need to focus on. So no, they will not be sitting around looking at people's cards to make sure they should be here.
But there's a lot of percent of the country that feels that way, whether they say it out loud or low key. So when it happens, there's not a whole like. They're not gonna
be mad.
Yeah, and so
until their avocados $50.
The problem is motherfuckers don't understand that the people saying it want it just to be them. And they're gonna keep moving this fucking goalpost till it's just them, and that's the craziest part. That none of these motherfuckers who don't look like them under fucking stand. Yeah. That's what they want to get to. They want to get to. That's what the abortion shit is about. It ain't about us. You think they give a fuck if motherfuckers have there's more black and brown babies? Nah, nigga, because they ain't having no fucking kids, and they know if they mix races, that kid is no longer that race. It's over here with us now.
That's
or it's got to make a choice.
They made
or
the
it looks
rules
like
up.
yeah. That's
what
you see what I'm saying.
Way.
Like that's the facts of what the shit is happening. The motherfuckers don't understand that they gonna keep moving that goalpost.
Well, how about
I can't wait till they give me my ticket back to Africa. Thanks.
Somebody said, "Don't even look at me on the ride back to Africa."
Don't even look at me.
Just make sure it's first class. Thank you. Preferably Ghana. Thank you.
I keep saying this is the last question on the election, but what do y'all say to all the people that are not black, or that all the immigrants that are here legally that voted against immigrants being here?
I wish you luck.
Yeah.
I wish you luck.
It's so many Puerto Ricans.
Well, wait a minute. You said that earlier. Let's be real clear about something.
No, the
bucket is Hispanic. The bucket is Latino.
That's not a real
That
term.
is. That's getting to my point. What I'm saying is, we don't know if the majority were Cuban, if they was Venezuelan, if they were Argentinian, if they were Chile, if they were Peruvian. What I'm saying is, you have this giant bucket of people from 30 countries, and we're keep trying to point to Puerto Ricans voting for him. We do not know which people of the Hispanic heritage are doing it.
There was definitely a lot of Cubans in Florida.
Cubans, 100%.
I keep seeing
probably all of them voted for him. No doubt.
But what I'm saying is, there are migrants. All of that you listed are still migrants, regardless of what it is. Haitians that eat dogs. All of these people. He had a large amount of migrant naturalized citizens that voted for him.
See, that's the other thing.
His win margin shows that he won the people that he spoke against. But
if you look at the overall number, right? People are stupid.
They're not analytical. We said that, but that's what I'm saying. She didn't address that. That's my whole point. But you can't speak above. You have to speak to the poorest and the poorest of the country, because those are the people that go in the barbershops and talking. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your policy. It matters the rumor about you. But when I go out and they say that she lock up niggas, and then you get Meg Thee Stallion on the stage who.
Oh, I hated that.
If it's four issues that these people that various people care about, right? And and he speaks to a bunch of people who 3 of these issues, they don't give a fuck about the rest of them. They're gonna vote because of those 3 issues.
And she doesn't have that.
It's very difficult for you to then go in and convince a motherfucker to change their mind off of anything except for that one thing. It don't matter. Unless you...
I agree.
And the problem was, it's very difficult to pick out, that's the one issue that really matters to you? Because you might question me on 7 different things, but just this one thing is the only thing that you're going to matter. There's a lot of people
that lied. There's people that are on social media that are saying, nah, he for the whatever they want to say, and I'm Mexican, and these people voted for him. So that's what I'm saying. People posture one way and they are voting for him. The results show that it can't be this many people supporting and saying fuck him, and then this many people.
No, but they're saying I won't go social media as far as the proof of that, because But there are a lot of people who did vote for him that say, it's not going to be me. That's the majority of them. It's not going to be
naive.
me.
Let's go with
that's super naive.
That's a lot of them.
It was neck and neck until election night.
I don't believe polls. I haven't believed polls since Trump won the first time.
You don't believe anything they say.
No, but since Trump, no, it was wrong when Trump won the.
What do you believe?
No,
but
the pollsters said
when Trump won the first time, the shit's been wrong since then.
The pollsters said that they were being incredibly conservative with their polls this time around. So we
what
knew.
Does that mean?
So because they fucked up so bad with Trump, to Ahmad's point, they were leaning. They knew their numbers weren't right. Is ultimately what I'm saying. They knew their numbers weren't right. They kept saying that they don't think their numbers are right because Trump has a way of getting low propensity voters out, and there's no way to measure low propensity voters. What's a low propensity voter? A low propensity voter, by definition, is people who either only vote during presidential elections or every other presidential election or every third presidential elections. They're very hard to get because they don't consistently vote.
Then they're not watching 4 or 5 or 20 different channels. They're watching 3 or 4. Like their scope of information is just this big, and they only do this, and they're not. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
They're just too hard to pinpoint.
Yeah,
and he has a way of bringing them out.
You can't poll on that. Like, and the thing is like, if you even listen to the poll, it's like, oh, you're polling here. Well, duh. I get it, right? You're polling in North Philly and saying Kamala is winning. Well, Kamala's winning. There's no shit, nigga. Like, duh.
I always speak about leveraging voting power, right? Mm-hmm. I looked it up.
Okay. What a low propensity voter was?
No, leveraging voting group.
Okay.
A leveraging voting group usually refers to the concept of maximizing influence through collective voting power. When a group with a shared interest or priorities votes in alignment, they can sway the election outcomes or policy decisions, especially in close races or issues decided by narrow margins. So my question to you guys is, what would Black people need to do? To the listeners, this is my final question.
Oh God, is this the we gotta find a Black collective reason?
Give me some reasons, or give me some. What could we leverage our vote on?
Easy.
What's the hinge that collectively all Black people could come together for and decide an election on?
Are we gonna say the same answer, Ahmad?
No, I don't. Because go ahead.
Reparations, hands down. Period. Hard stop.
Oh, I don't
think all Black don't agree on that.
I don't.
All Black don't agree on nothing, but I think that's one you get the highest percentage on.
I personally don't agree. There ain't shit we can vote on to change a goddamn thing. But that's just me personally.
And that's the honest to God point truth. Is because as passionate as all these Black people were about this election, there's 300 million people in America, over 300 million. Black people make up, what's the population?
13 to 15%.
What you got?
That's what they say it is. I say it's like a little bit higher. Though.
13
actually, I think it's actually a little bit higher.
AI says 14%. So you were writing the thing. So
shout out to ChatGPT.
14% of 300 million can't be split. Right?
What do you mean?
And if we all have to move in one way. Hey, if it's 14% of, let me just say
if it's 300 million, it's only 200 million voting.
Right. Well, even that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't even know if it's that many.
No, I'm saying that are eligible, even age-wise. There's probably roughly 100 million kids.
You got kids and convicts and
vote. Just the couch effect of the people that just don't vote or give a fuck about it.
And that was a lot of what happened as well.
Here's the other part. Jehovah's Witness. You know, they can't vote. There's a clip of Prince talking about when they asked him about Obama, and he's like, I think he's very charismatic. I like him a lot, but as my religion, I can't. So
but how many? We have a lot of ineligible voters.
Yeah, I'm just saying in that guise of ineligible voters. 14% of that is still a fraction. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's no close to 25, 50. So that 14%, in my point, is it can't be fractured. It has to be all together. Well, when you talk to matter,
it's a matter in what sense? Because when you're talking about a presidential election, we are all broke up over various different places that are going to have ranging effects depending on where we are, right? You know what I'm saying? So unless you're talking about moving to an area and affected it, as long as this system is in place, it doesn't matter, right?
I get that with the electoral college. I get that. I'm not voting that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
But we don't vote for any policy. Period. Then
No.
Never.
No. I'm saying that if 14% of that collective overall vote that we agree to moves one way, the politician running has to address that. So what I'm saying, like what Ice Cube was trying to do a few years ago when he was like, I gave 10 things to Donald Trump if we can get 2 or 3 on the ballot. And everybody was like, you meeting with Trump? And they threw it away. I'm saying that if all of Black America got behind these 10 things that we want to do, like you say reparations, you say whatever
nothing.
you say.
He said nothing.
Right,
But if,
right.
But
But
if
I
that,
say my thing, but what I'm saying is if the politician that's running takes that 10 points serious, whatever he takes off the list, like I always tell people, I can give you 10 points and people will be like, yeah, I rock with 7 of them. I gave you 10 facts. You know what I'm saying? You talking about you rock with 7 of them. All 10 of them are true, but 7 of them are true to you. Mm-hmm. So if we can even get that conversation, but we can't because in the sense of when a politician even tries to sit down with Black people, they come away with like, they for abortion or they not for abortion. I don't even know what my policy should be for them.
That sounds all great, but that 58% majority can decide to do what the fuck they want to do, and
I
everybody's
was just
fucked.
about to say. And
So that 14% don't matter if that 58% majority decides to move in the same exact manner. Now what you gonna do?
But I think that's a defeatist attitude.
It's not a defeatist
No, it's
attitude.
not.
It's not.
Let me make
It's
my
a defeat.
point.
I will say this.
Let me make my point why. Let me make my
It's
point
a
why.
defeatist attitude in this. If you're staying within the system, and my point is stop staying in the system.
But then I'm criticized for not voting because I'm not in the system, right? So I'm saying if you do it for the people that are saying that, hey, you need to get in the system, and I'm saying I'm not getting in the system unless I can leverage my vote. I'm not putting my vote by myself because I think it's a piss in the wind. So if I can put my vote with somebody, what say you? I need to put my block. What I always say is a block. I always say I want to vote in a block.
Well, 58% is in a block.
But I'm saying that I don't agree with that block. So what I'm saying is if we can create our own block or whatever the fuck it is. My point is this. You almost made me forget my point.
You sure it's not the weed?
No, it's the tequila. Fucking tell
Okay, tequila. Okay, let's blame that.
No, what I'm saying is in the voting in the block and the people that do vote, I'm saying if we all voted one way, the politician will have to address it. So my point of going back to RFK and defeatist attitude. RFK knew he wouldn't win, but when he lost, I go with Trump and I go for Trump. I do a 180 and go for him 100% hard. Now I got a position in the cabinet. You see what I'm saying?
But he was doing that before.
He also was doing that with the Democrats.
Regardless of right, that's what I'm saying. My end goal is to get
something else. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is how y'all look, and that's what I'm saying. Us as Black people are so immediate in the thing. The same thing. I don't want to go to the Bears, but the same thing with Caleb Williams and all this shit. We need to win right now. And so we don't think about a bench or a farm league or like who's in the wing of the Democratic Party right now. Nobody, because we're thinking about winning right now. We're trying to beat Trump right now. We're not grooming anybody up to be like, hey, you're going to win 2 elections and you're going to win the 3rd. No, nobody wants to do that. Nobody in this age of social media, you're a loser, I got too many followers going against me. So we look at, and that's what I'm saying, in defeatist attitude, we're not looking in the long run. And I think the Republican Party is.
If we're looking at it in the long run, we need to understand that this, I keep telling people this, nigga, the system ain't built for you, was never for you, and ain't gonna be for you, right? Until you understand that. And ain't no voting, marching, ain't never got nobody nowhere. And until people are rallying, you want to organize, okay, let's organize. We need a military group. We need a group of people who can talk and move. We need a people, but that's factual.
I mean, that's what the Black Panthers were.
If you look around the world, the only way people uprise is that way. That it's
only
what
through
it is.
violence. That's very true. He's not wrong.
I agree, and that's why I don't vote.
So,
and I swear I say that every time when I'm online and I'm talking about. I don't even do it on our page because it got all 3 of our names, but on my personal page, I do that all the time, and I'm saying that. One, it doesn't matter because I stay in the blue state. 2, it doesn't matter. We don't have anything to protect what we're trying to do anyway. Anything we try to do, there's no protection for it, and that's why you have individual millionaires. That's a whole nother thing. I want to get off of the election. I want to go to.
No, you don't. You're gonna come right back to it in 5 minutes.
No, I'm not.
We finna spin the block.
We've been trying to do this. We're trying to get off this for 30 minutes, and yet we still here.
And I seen Jamal Green.
Watch how we don't. Watch how we don't. I want you to explain to her the drama going down in Equatorial New Guinea.
Oh, okay.
New Guinea, Equatorial.
It's Equatorial
Why
Guinea.
the fuck Equatorial need a new one?
No,
why the fuck Guinea need a new one?
it's just-
Please teach me. I don't know
where's
what
the
any
old
of this shit is.
Equatorial Guinea and New
Where's the
Guinea
old
are
Guinea?
two different places, but I don't know if there is a regular Guinea.
So why we need a new one if there's not an old one?
Well, New Guinea and I don't think Equatorial Guinea, they're not. Anyway, that's
Isn't New Guinea
I'm
a
not
country?
good with the maps.
Yeah.
Tell me where New
But
Guinea
Equatorial
is.
Guinea is also a country.
Where
too,
is
but
it?
Okay.
if I remember correctly, it's off the west coast of Africa.
Okay.
Okay.
So
On the
we're
west
in
of
Africa. We're off
Yeah,
the
it's
west
in-
coast.
Yeah, I think it's
we
off
by the
west
Red
coast of
Sea.
Africa, correct. No, that's
The
the,
Red
opposite
Sea
direction.
is-
That's off the east coast.
Ooh,
I just wanted to say
you got
Red
your
Sea.
damn phone. You get a map.
I wanted to say
So
Red
you
Sea.
can keep up.
Anyway, we can just
Mediterranean Sea.
the point of the story is it comes out like this is maybe 2 weeks ago where he works in the government in some way, in finance somehow, some way.
Who is this?
This gentleman, which
Okay.
Baltazar, I can't
have
really
his
say
name, but I
Gimbo.
can't pronounce
I think it's Baltazar is his first name. But anyway, he is
Balasar
Balthasar.
Ebang Engon.
And he's New Guinean?
Ganga.
Yeah.
Nganga.
Yeah.
New
So
Guinea.
Balasar Ebang Nganga.
Well,
from
Equatorial
New
Guinea.
Ghana.
Equatorial New Guinea, which is
Equatorial Guinea.
new to me. Okay.
Equatorial. Why is
It's
it
just
on
Equatorial.
Ecuador? It's on the.
I'm not.
Okay, all right, I'll look.
If you don't get your goddamn phone,
I'm gonna look.
doing this, man. So anyway, there are videos and clips of videos coming out with him being with various women.
okay.
And then people, and this is on their social media and stuff like that. And then people start researching. These women are wives of various officials, police officers, other people
I'ma
in
read the
government.
list.
Is he
getting
sleeping
all
with
the
them?
way? Oh yeah, he's
Okay.
sleeping. With.
I wasn't sure.
Oh,
Okay.
it's amateur porn type shit.
He's making porn with other
he's
officials' wives.
He's sleeping and recorded. It's being recorded, and apparently all the women know they're being recorded. So this isn't a situation where the women don't know and it's non-consent. No, they all know, and it gets all the way up to I don't think it was the president, but maybe the vice president. It was somebody high up in office that this got all the way to. Because the original stories, people think it got to the president. I don't think it got to the president because he's like a second cousin or nephew of the president, and people think this all came out to try to flip the regime and get cause controversy and blah 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 blah. But it was absolutely an uproar to the fact of he's sleeping with all these.
Well, duh.
Wives.
Who? Of course, this is an uproar.
Now they're saying that it was like 400 videos, 100. I have no idea and verify because you have to understand news and how news comes out, what is true, how many videos there are.
Right.
There were clips and stills and videos.
I mean, the point.
There
still
is
remains
videos and clips of him with
that he's sleeping with officials and
wives.
potentially officials' wives and potentially trying to stage a coup through sleeping through these.
No, not him. That the information came out to try to throw because his cousin is the actual president.
So somebody is using
or his nephew or
trying
something
to
like that.
use
His uncle, something.
It's trying
like that.
to leverage this idiot.
It's a smear campaign for the
president.
presidential regime because he's a low level official type shit. Like he's in government, but he ain't got no.
Yeah, but now it's starting to reflect on the president because this is his
shit.
cousin.
Yeah, and being at the fact of who he's sleeping with, like, type shit. That's now
They're gonna assassinate him because I feel
story.
like that's
I
the
don't know.
next
Yeah,
step.
But the wild shit is that he's sleeping with all these motherfuckers' wives. Like he was really
No, the wild shit is they know that they're being recorded and they
and
let
they're
him.
recording it.
That's the wildest part of this. Like,
And,
are you crazy? What is wrong with you?
Which then somebody else was like, man, how true is any of this shit? Is this shit all just some shit somebody
Ecuadorian
made up? You know what I'm saying?
So it's like New Guinea and Ecuadorian New Guinea, kind of like West Virginia, Virginia type situation. North Dakota, South Dakota. Like, how does that work?
It says Equatorial. I put in
because it's Equatorial Guinea,
Equatorial New Guinea, and
it's not Ecuador.
Look, it says doesn't actually exist as a real place. However, Equatorial Guinea is a country in Central Africa located on the west coast near the Gulf of Guinea.
It's right by Gabon, and New Guinea is an island. Not even there.
So let me list the relationships he had. The list of relationships that Balastar Ebang Igana.
Shout out to you for trying to say it.
Yeah. He had the wife of the director of the presidential security, the attorney general's wife, the daughter of the Director General of the police, the wife of his pastor's little brother, his godfather's wife,
Damn.
his century's wife,
Goddaddy ain't even safe.
his century's wife, his bodyguard's wife, 15 friends of his younger sister, his pastor's wife, the wives of several ministers, including Minister Aburu, his own little brother's wife. And
Is this like a cultural thing that maybe we just don't understand?
Pregnant wife.
Is it possible that he slept with his uncle's
pregnant wife
that's pregnant with his child,
or
pregnant with his child?
Nephew.
He slept with his brother's wife, and just for people to know, and
he had over 400 sex tapes.
I don't think it's Guinea. I think it's Guinea and Papua New Guinea and Guinea and Guinea are islands. They're an island above Australia, nowhere near Africa.
Yeah, New Guinea. So that is right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
nowhere near.
I feel like this is a place I need to add to my list of places to visit. they wild up there. They a good time.
Hedonism.
Now wait a minute. Let's go back to my question.
That's the country.
It's about Cape Verde.
No, I was thinking of the island off the west coast of Africa. I couldn't think of.
Oh yeah, Cape Verde. Off of Senegal. Is it possible that this is something cultural that us ignorant Americans just don't understand? That in this particular culture of West New Guinea, that they just sleep with each other's wives?
Well, it became news over there first,
so
and
probably not.
Yeah, and I think there's videos
crazy.
of them trying to confront the wives and ask the wives questions. Did you know? Like, yeah, it turned into a whole.
It's rumored that one of the people alleged in the sex tape unalived themselves.
I can see that. That's a lot of stress.
Due to the,
Chief Baltazar Nganda.
Yeah, so I think this is the guy that...
Shout out to my CPS education.
So he slept with all these people, and I don't know. I think it's a kink or it's a quid
How is
pro
this a kink?
quo.
I feel like not y'all, like y'all specifically, but I feel like men in America, if y'all could do it, y'all would too. I don't think this is a kink. I think he said they suspended his account. God damn.
God, this man.
I think he just leveraged his resources. If you want to ask me what I think he just leveled his resources. He happened to have access to very high, powerful women who are willing to sleep with him.
Have you seen what he looks like?
No, is there a picture? Oh my God, please don't tell me he looks like a troll.
Please show him.
He better be fine as
Please show him a
hell
picture of him.
doing this. That's crazy. How did you find out about this?
Just
BBC?
No, just
Of course. Of course that's what he looks like.
my Twitter
bald
Twitter
dude,
algorithm
right?
is it's him.
You see it?
I mean, he's not. Is that one of the tapes?
Yeah.
That's what I said. Women was down.
Oh.
They was down. This ain't no. Like,
I mean, the women he's like, if that's one, they've pretty evenly matched. It's not like, on the looks perspective, they like polar opposites. They kind of even.
Yeah.
They even.
Does
he got to be charismatic as hell. All these women are bored as shit. One of the two is the case.
I mean,
combination of both. Maybe
he got a combination. Right. That nigga got the
like,
lot.
Why is what? So I mean, you've named like 20 women just in this. I can't.
He got 400 sex tapes recorded them all.
I'm sure he did. Some of these are the same woman a few times, but that's crazy. Shout out to Equatorial New Guinea. They are now added to my travel must see.
Yeah, they go. What's going on in here?
Yes.
With my glasses when I come in here.
Because that's got some in the culture has to make that like.
That's just how they get down.
Yeah, they.
Because that seems a little that's interesting, especially that the wives were in it and willing to be videotaped.
You think it's political though? You think
obviously
he's doing it for work or it's a kink? That's what I was trying to ask.
Well, why does it have to be a kink sleeping with women? I feel like ain't that just?
Recording them and those women.
Are y'all trying to tell me y'all have never recorded some sexual acts?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh,
it's not just citizens of the country.
That's different though.
This is like they're all permanent women.
You're recording every sexual act, and all the people you're sleeping with are in relationship with people you know.
Is it possible
and are close to and are related to? That's a little
Is it possible that maybe he was just sleeping with who was in his vicinity?
Propinquity. I like that.
I said vicinity. I said shit about a propinquity. What's a propinquity?
That's what it means.
Yeah. I didn't know.
It's like
maybe
it's vicinity and proximity.
You know, like Drea, right? Drea has been with a whole lot of basketball players. Perhaps that's because she's surrounded by them. Is this possible?
Why are you surrounded? Do she play basketball?
She's in spaces where they're located. If she's going to parties or events.
Why are you making yourself located to basketball players?
You wouldn't say that shit about him?
I would.
No, but you're not.
His job kind of does it. His life, if he just go to grandma's house, they're there. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm just saying you're going to events. You're going to galas.
He ain't got to go to events.
I'm saying the same thing.
He could just go home.
He like, stop going to these events. Take your ass home. Go to the grocery store.
He go to work.
Well, wait a minute. Some of these women are from church, so he clearly
anywhere he go, he fucking somebody's
wife. Like, why do you?
That's crazy.
This nigga.
He slept with his pastor's
some of these
wife.
women he shouldn't know. Like, I understand the relationship with the man, but how you get in with her off of that relationship?
I can understand one or two of them. But it's like you just gonna hit every single.
That nigga.
Maybe word got around.
Here's the question.
That nigga, like, you married. He has
who's the person? Who's the guy in his life who he ain't slept with his girl?
Oh, that's a great question.
That's the question. Who's the guy that like
he was like maybe the president? Maybe he was like, you know what? That's a bridge too far. I'm not gonna sleep with your ass.
Maybe.
I think these women telling, they sharing. Like,
no, you know what? I just had that thought. Did y'all ever see that movie in the 80s of the pizza boy who was a gigolo?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Dempsey. Y'all think it was like that kind of a situation?
They told everybody like, you got around. Like,
you better call this number.
They wanted that pizza with that double anchovy.
Maybe
your pastor's little brother.
I just told you this is like Patrick Dempsey, and
he ain't just like walking around.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I would agree. Some of those women were approaching him. Yeah, for sure. For sure, 100%.
I don't think his kink is the.
Why do we think this is a kink? Because it's videotaped?
No, because of the titles of the women. I think it's the hiding of it. Like he likes fucking under disguise or something. Like, you know,
or just the shit you shouldn't do.
It's like the
don't y'all all like that?
My bodyguard's wife, my century's wife.
What's a century?
Nigga that shoot. I know it's a century gun. I know what a century gun is, nigga.
I'm taking over the show.
The wife of his pastor's little brother.
That's crazy.
His pastor's wife.
We just said he's doing it at church. That, you know what? To Ahmad's point, I'm changing my position. I think this is the lover boy situation where maybe he slept with the first 5 or 10. He actually initiated it. Word got around. Then he just, his reputation just started preceding him, and all these women just started finding him at events.
But all of these people are also political. All the husbands are also.
Again, you are related to the president. You are at events with these people.
Man, he's like, don't ever double cross me. Look at this tape I got.
I wonder if the husbands knew before now.
That's crazy if they do now. Like, he got a.
I mean, could you imagine how livid these men are? Oh my God.
He gonna run away with.
I mean, and this is, not to be like stereotypical Africa, but now I'm kind of concerned for these women.
And it's like, it's all of his security.
I'm a little concerned about these women.
As
safety,
a man.
honestly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm a little concerned.
That's true.
I hope y'all okay.
Like, I can never,
and I do not mean that flippant. I hope all of those women are okay, for real.
As you see, one unalived themselves.
Well, he unalived himself or herself. Yeah.
She killed herself once this shit came out, so she already knew what was coming down the pipe.
So I prayers to the women, because I hope all of y'all are.
But my thing is,
safe.
it's all of the guns for hire for you, like the director.
He slept with his soldiers.
Bodyguard.
He is not smart.
The director of presidential security.
He's not smart.
The attorney general's wife, who can get you out of jail from the first one. The daughter of the director general of police. The wife of the pastor. Like, this is your.
That's what I'm saying. And you saying
the bodyguard's
the
wife.
pastor wives and stuff.
Going to
fine,
events.
but you gonna go and sleep with your security team.
From once you get caught.
He needs to be smarter with us.
Who's the male in his life that it was like,
the president.
The president. He slept with them too. The Godfather. He slept with his Godfather's wife.
We just cracked the case. The president. The president's wife's not on the list.
Who was the first one that kicked it off?
I don't know. Probably I don't know.
Because somebody kicked it off and like, girl, and there you
Yeah.
go. It's spread from
this
there.
the one that kicked it off. This is probably the first one. The wives of several ministers. So it's just
those
just
probably
that-
easy.
it was in
That's
church.
just that general
Yep, it was in
pop.
church. It
It
kicked off in
started-
church. It
Yeah.
kicked off in
Started off with
church.
that gin pop.
And then it
Yeah.
spread.
Yep.
They like, girl, and then it went to up and ringer. Like, he the deacon.
Girl, I hope y'all okay
He the
because this
deacon on
is
Sunday.
a big old mess. Do you think they're gonna be successful? You think they're gonna be able to leverage this to get the president out?
Maybe.
I mean, without knowing the cultural how they are culturally, that I can't
that's the
say,
only-
but
I mean,
They reelected Fannie Wayne Willis.
you never know.
So-
I mean,
that is here in the U.S.
But you never know, you
What's
know.
a crackhead got voted to be in mayor? I mean, so we just do some random ass shit.
this gentleman may
Public opinion.
this gentleman
That's
may
what my point
disappear.
But we talking about Africa. Africa is not
This
America.
He
gentleman-
got world opinion.
This gentleman may disappear.
You're not worried about the wives? I feel like the wives are gonna disappear.
No, what I'm saying, he may
Look at him,
disappear.
misogynist.
He may. I'm just saying, he may disappear. No, if you're the president, when you just make him disappear, ain't no more questions after that, is it?
I'd fucking
I think this-
assassinate him,
I-
quite frankly.
That's what I'm saying.
If
He
I'm
just-
if
he
I'm
just-
him and I'm
No,
trying
because
to
I
run-
want to make an example of him, so I would make sure his
Well, yeah,
death is
they'll-
known.
they'll do
If
shit
I'm
like
him
that
and I'm
too.
ambitious in this country trying to do something and this comes out, do I stay ambitious?
No, you leave.
No.
You leave.
But there are some people that be like, this ain't gonna break me. That ain't here. But
And I think he's an older than whoever the president is. He's like 60-something, 70-something, something like that. I think he's
I
like
hope you
older
flew.
guy.
I hope you came
he
to
hit him with the
LA.
Shannon.
But I think-
what was Shannon Sharp saying?
And I think he's one
I
of
did
the-
what I did as a grown man. I'm a heterosexual man. I'm doing.
Oh my
And I
god!
think he's
Did
one
y'all
of-
talk about that? Because
I
that
think-
was the dumbest shit on earth. Anyway, continue.
I
was
think he's
fake.
one of those countries that he, like, you know, they fought for their independence and did all that, and it was like, we're gonna be a democracy, and I've stayed in power for 40 years, type, like,
And they're not really a democracy.
Yeah, not when you in the power for 40 years. I mean,
No,
granted, in the U.S.,
they voted me in.
well, clearly there are no
They
term
voted
limits.
me in 40 times.
Oh,
You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? No, there's a lot of countries
They
that,
said- I
yeah,
ain't
he
gonna
still
talk about
got
the election.
voted in, but
Yeah.
it ain't a real fucking election.
They said that's what's gonna happen here with Trump, but I don't want to talk about that.
Oh no, that was
you
the
why
meme.
you keep trying to go
No,
back?
I'm
You
not.
kept
I'm
saying
not.
you want to
I'm not.
leave.
You
I'm
brought me
going to
back, and I was
DDG
like,
and holler.
you can't
going
pull
to
me
DDG and
in.
holler.
What are we doing?
because I said funny meme, and she asked like, "What meme?" It was fucking some old wrestling shit when like The Rock first came back from when he was doing movies, and it was John Cena and him, and it was like when he lifts the restrictions on running for a third term. Obama come back.
Oh, I
and
do
it was
have a
The
question.
Rock versus him. Like that shit
Oh.
was
Ken,
fucking.
I don't know politics. I don't vote. Like
yes,
Trump won. He
Okay.
ran. He won before.
sure.
Can he win again?
No.
No.
He's done.
Well,
Unless they
according
change
to
the law.
how, wait a minute, let me say it like this. According to how the law is set
Right
up,
now.
this is
Currently,
his
no.
should be his last term.
Yes.
So-
now we'll see how the next 4 years
So you can
go.
only do
8
two
years.
terms, period?
Yes,
Or I thought it was 2 terms back to back.
Nope.
Just 2
2
terms.
terms, period.
That's what a lot of people think.
No, it's
Nope.
just 2
Okay,
terms.
okay.
period.
And that shows how much you paid attention in civics
Because if that was
class.
here's the thing, if that was the case, then
Why
Obama,
you teaching me about something at 18
Obama
and
would have.
8?
Here's the thing, if that was the case, when Biden stepped down, Obama
Obama
would
would have
have
ran again, yeah. Or Bush, shit. People love
shit,
Bush
yeah,
now.
Bush would have ran. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there'd have been a bunch of people who would have ran technically
Yeah.
for a third
Yep.
term.
You only get
that
2
could
terms,
have
that's
actually
it?
won a third term.
Let me ask you this one:
If you don't get the fuck off politics,
could have Biden? No Supreme Court justice died in Biden's time, right?
that is correct.
Okay, so never mind. All right.
Or a step down, because that's actually what's supposed to happen now. Clarence and one of them
You
other.
finna get 2 more.
Yeah, Clarence.
Well,
is gonna have to-
it's
did it
not
for
gonna.
40
It's
years.
not going
Clarence-
to change anything
We-
because it's
you
just
make it
it's too
politics.
conservative. It's too conservative seats
for
right?
political reasons, Clarence never should have stepped down during Biden's term.
Could
and he
Obama
didn't.
ever
Yeah.
have been a Supreme Court justice?
Who?
Obama.
He was never a judge.
Judge, yeah, you got to be,
have to be a judge.
and work
Okay,
your way.
okay.
You got to be and you got to work your way to forget whatever
Yeah.
district.
I mean,
judge.
it's America, so shit.
But, yeah.
Ricky Schroeder could be judge for all the hell we know. Just the randos for no damn.
Y'all seen Judge O'Brien lately? That guy's a wild man.
He's old. He's an old black
Yeah,
man.
he's-
That's how old
I
black
feel
men
like
get.
that's some bullshit.
That's how old black men
man.
get. I can't wait to get that age.
I know y'all said that. What did you just say was bullshit? Shannon Sharp. I think that whole thing with his wife was some bullshit.
Judge
Oh, that
O'Brien.
definitely was some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Oh
was.
yeah,
That was.
No, that wasn't. That was Mathis.
that was Mathis.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
sorry, my bad.
You just.
Oh, Joe Brown is the-
all black men
Yeah,
look the
oh,
same.
yeah.
You right, y'all do.
DDG and Halle Berry.
Oh, okay, fun.
It's not Halle Bailey.
I said, what?
Halle Berry.
DDG and
Halle Berry.
DDG and Halle Berry. Jay would be a whole different conversation, and Jay definitely would have been here for that conversation. For a 40-year-old, what he'd have been here, man. What? 50-year-old woman messing with a 20-something-year-old nigga. What? And he got a pregnant nigga. No. What?
She dressed up as her for Halloween, so.
Yeah, I got you.
Halle Berry. Halle Berry. It is hard. Halle Bailey and Halle Berry.
It was better when they were a duo. You just Halle and Chloe. Halle and Chloe. You just know we didn't have to even say that. It was just Halle. We just say Halle, from Halle and Chloe. Chloe from Halle and Chloe. Yeah, it's easy.
I don't know what that's from either.
No, what I'm saying.
He said he doesn't even remember Chloe and Halle.
You remember them?
See, you don't know either.
I didn't listen to them, but I knew who they were.
Yeah, just because of my daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, they had music together, and
they're Beyonce's proteges.
I know that,
and they were on the Grownish spinoff with the daughter when they went to college.
I know that as well, but I didn't know they
were. They were a whole big deal because they came on one of those award shows and just sang, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, who are these two little girls who sing so beautifully?"
Yep.
So tell me why she laid down with a streamer, made a baby, and then was surprised that streamer put the baby on the stream.
Because she's a child.
She's 12 years old. Why do we expect
so you disagree with that?
A child? What?
And I'm not saying
that she's a young person making mistakes in
public.
You
against black women? That's what you're saying?
Sure. I hate black women too. No, I think what we also miss, right? They're brand new parents. They're little 20-somethings and they're brand new fucking parents. Quite frankly, as a parent, and I've been a parent for a few years and I was an older parent when I became a parent, nobody does this shit right out the gate. I don't give a shit how old you are. No. You do goofy shit at first, and they're in the making goofy decision phase of co-parenting, quite frankly. So I'm not terribly surprised she made this misstep. And these are children where social media is their only way of documenting their lives. If it don't happen on social media, it actually didn't happen. And so that's where they always run to talk about this. This isn't
the first time she's probably said something and he's done something.
That's true.
He could have took them somewhere else and it wasn't on social media. It wasn't us. It wasn't on stream. And she had the same complaint. It's just she took it to it because that's where it was. And did she comment first or did she?
I
have no idea how it even happened. Did she just openly just come out and say something? Or was she responding to a comment of somebody saying something on the street?
It doesn't matter. These are brand new parents trying to figure out how to navigate co-parenting. And I think it's a little silly of us to expect people who have been parents for a year to get this shit right.
No, I guess my point is the fact that I'm sure that what we saw on social media is...
That's not the first time they've had that conversation, probably not.
That and the text that you sent him before whatever you posted, why wasn't that enough is what I'm saying. Like, why do you have to...
Well, we don't know what he said after that.
Why? Because
we don't know what he said after that.
But it wasn't on social media.
You want to know why? Because all these kids do not know how to operate. Most of them, a good amount of them, it's rare to find a kid nowadays who doesn't operate with, I have to put everything on social media.
I did just say, if it's not on social media, it didn't happen.
And the crazier part is...
But it didn't. This ain't something that you highlight. It's not a memory that you want on social media to remind you of.
She's not one of these social media darlings either. She doesn't really be out here posting a lot.
She doesn't.
So why do this?
Unless she's promoting something.
So why? So what I'm saying is, whenever you did get the information that my kid is on social media, the text that you sent him, which I would assume, and I'm shooting her some bail and thinking that she would text him first.
Yep, I assume that as well.
Why is that then not enough? Is all I'm saying.
My guess is
even if he responds in a bitch, this my kid too. Like he could have typed, bitch, this my kid too. Regardless of what his response is, why then take that to social media?
The same reason a 40-year-old.
Now that's not fair because if somebody says something that pisses you off, you get pissed and you respond pissed, right? If my baby daddy, if I ask him to do something and he like, bitch, I don't work for you, I'm gonna respond in kind.
To him or on social media?
Depends on my mood, quite frankly. I don't really post on social media, so I'm not a good person.
Like but she don't either.
I'm gonna respond in motherfucking kind, right? Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, that was just a little ridiculous. But no, I'm gonna respond in fucking kind.
She's younger and of a generation where
if
she does post, and she has posted things like just out of emotion and et cetera, but nothing too crazy. But you know what I'm saying? But that. She's of the generation where they go to that space at times, right? And
they treat it like a journal.
That's why it being anything that anybody under 30 does on social media is like, well, whatever. Like we look at it like, why the fuck would you do that? They look at it like, you have to understand that's normalized to them. Like
I agree.
I don't understand threatening somebody's life on social media. But we see older motherfuckers take up and do that shit all the fucking time. And like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing?
Come right here right now.
That's like
I completely agree.
It's part of that, and it's just doing it out in public. Something that anybody who has been in that space where you're in a relationship, y'all broke up, the kid is young, and y'all trying to figure out how to co-parent, right? The fact of taking it to social media is like, well, yeah, nobody older will do that. These young kids do that shit all the time. You just ain't following them and don't know it. But that type of shit they do, it's normal behavior for them. What's not normal behavior is to then double back and actually say, well, you know what, maybe I fucked up. Even if it's a maybe. Ain't even getting that far. Right. You know what I'm saying? To be like, yo, all right, I took it over. And I
may have misstepped.
I don't think you will ever see her post anything regarding anything unless it's something, you know, it has to be something outrageous. Like the kid got hurt. He got, you know what I'm saying? Something outrageous. You won't see nothing except for happy pictures and good pictures and all that shit. It just was.
I was gonna ask y'all, just taking it off of them, just the co-parent aspect. You co-parent? You been in a co-parent situation?
I am now. My daughter's 11.
The whole finding out something with everybody else, like she was saying, like, hey, your daughter's here, or, you know, finding out something about your kid that, you know, that the other parent is doing that you didn't know about, and finding out in real time and how you react, and what say you. One thing I want to say.
What is it though?
Say, and that's what I guess that's what I was gonna say. In generally speaking, whatever it is to the father is just him moving and how he moves. And they don't think of nothing of it. But a lot of times women say
that's not true. Now, because I'm going to take the position to Ahmad's earlier point, right? That's not the first time they had that conversation.
No, I'm taking it off of them. I'm saying in the co-parenting sense of you find out something about the kid. The kid, you drop, the co-parent drops the kid back off to you, and the kid says something about where they've been or what they did, and now you have a problem with it. It's in hindsight, or it may be in real time, whatever it is. But a lot of times that you hear women say that I'm in fear of the child's safety. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm worried about I'm worried about the kid's environment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it kind of dismisses the father's being there. It ain't like I dropped him off there and left. And, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted y'all to speak because y'all both went through the co-parent thing in the sense of like just knowing new information in both ways. You being I
say to be honest, if you really both sides, if you really want to work it out, you both got to kind of come to the middle, right? Agree. You have to a certain extent, you have to recognize her concern, but at the same time, your hope would be if you have that same concern and you're coming from the same place, you ain't coming from no jealous, you ain't, you know, because
if you are shit,
but it can get petty. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not getting into the petty shit, but you're
say, don't tell your mama you was here.
Yeah, if you really coming from a genuine like place, like it should be, the concern should be respected in both ways, and it shouldn't always be met with. But you should trust me. The only way this shit works out, because for the most part, my oldest, it was good. You know what I'm saying? But there were definitely ups and downs and bumps and bruises and times we didn't talk and argue, but for the most part, we respected the space that we both kind of agreed on. If our kid's gonna be around somebody on a regular basis, have the respect to introduce and I ain't got to get along with them, but at least I know who this person is, right? I can't tell you who you have, like none of that. Right. I can speak on shit as long as I'm respectful, but we not doing that. It ain't. As she got older, it wasn't a daily, oh, we're going here, we're going there, because I could talk to my kid. My kid will tell me, I went here, I did this, I did that. So there has to be a give and take, because in the same right, she would come, I don't want her here. I have to kind of like, well, why? All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? There has to be, because the only way a relationship works out in any shape, form, or fashion is balance.
I agree.
And communication.
That's
so you gotta that was why I was
in
it.
You don't see that shit in the moment. You be like, nigga.
No, you know I saw it.
Where am I going to get that shit from?
The only reason I saw it in the moment is because I was blessed to be a baby and I watched my older siblings go through this shit on both sides. And it was like, yeah, I don't. All right. How do I not have that happen? Because at the end of the day, even if I have to take some shit, I was much willing at a lot of times to take some shit just because it's about my kid.
No, but
so if I have to eat some shit sometimes,
even on the reverse,
it's about my kid.
And the men, like I hear men that talk about like from birth to what's the average age you break up after a baby born? Like 3, 4.
Yes, it's
sure.
usually
I'm sure there's
range.
some fake stats out there somewhere.
It's usually in that range.
So right up in there. That was his darling. That was his baby girl. He woke up with her every day. And then like they break up. 2 years later, she coming over. The daughter is, and she's acting like her mom. She's questioning. She's being defiant. She's saying, you know what I'm saying? It's like, where you get that from? You know what I'm saying? And is
this like a thing?
I see. I've never been through co-parenting, but I see that a lot where they daughter. All daughters grow up away from the dad, right? To a point where it's like you have that like we best friends. And then she's smelling herself, whatever they want to call it.
When they're like a teenager, okay.
Teenager, I hate men.
I'm thinking it's like a 5-year-old walking in your house questioning you. So,
right. So
okay.
that happens too. So, no. I'm saying.
He's saying before teenager.
I'm saying before teenager. When
you're saying a 5-year-old's walking in their daddy's house saying, who this bitch?
Well, not that, but.
I mean, I'm just using this as an example. But
they acting away or they're acting out their mom's sentiments, right? They've. The dad may be like, you know her. You've known her since but now that mom has entered the thing and be like, do you really know her? How has she helped me with your homework? I'm the only one to help. Whatever it is that she's saying to her, now it's got the kid questioning something that makes the father say, she's never acted like this before. Where's she's getting this from? Like, why are you pushing against?
Because kids emulate what they spend time with.
That's what Steve is saying. So I guess your question to me is what?
I'm saying like, even on the flip side, I'm saying that's the flip side of the mom saying that I don't want my kid hanging around, because she's dangerous, But I'm saying this is what the dad sees. The dad sees that this kid's been cool. This kid's been helping me with the homework when I couldn't help you. When they cook, they cook.
Yeah, but why wouldn't
I cook you hot dogs and they cook you 4-course meals. But now you questioning and pushing back on.
But my question
your
would
best
be,
friend.
if you have an adult in your child's life, you know whether they've met the other parent or not. And if you're going to, Maud said this a few minutes ago, if you know that that's going to be regular, why wouldn't you introduce them to the other parent?
But because it might not be regular. Like, so the mom may have a structured situation and the dad doesn't. I have multiple women. And this woman is just dad's friend. You don't see and you've been cool with her and now you're changing.
And how horrifying is it that you just said she got these fucking random ass women helping this kid? I got questions. Nigga, I got questions.
But honestly, as a parent, you need to like be conscious of what your child sees as far as your interactions.
And let me say this in reverse. If a fucking woman had random motherfucking men helping your son with your homework, a fucking 4 and 5 and 6-year-old, you're gonna be like, well, that's his mom, so I guess she got it. You're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Yes, you can. You can voice. You can say, I don't like this.
That voice is going to go where?
I'm not a man. I don't know.
You don't live in this house. Get the fuck. You don't run this house.
But see, that's the problem.
But then that's where
you're ending the conversation.
But then that's what you need to have. As I tell everybody, every nigga, you need to have your shit together. So when he ever gets to there, I'm getting.
That's a perfect life.
That's not a perfect life. You got a kid. No, it's not. You got a kid. From that point on, you should have been getting your shit together. You ain't shit, nigga.
Even if you do.
No. Ain't no.
What I'm saying is this.
No, I'm not moving off of that. Go ahead.
Cool. Even if you do have your shit together and your mind, it may not be up to what she's saying. So what I'm saying is cool. As long as you've known me, I've never had my own apartment. Now I got my own apartment, but you don't like the people that's hanging out here. Bitch, you told me to get my own apartment and my daughter couldn't come around unless I had my own shit. Now I got my own shit and you don't like the people that's here. You're moving the goalpost.
That's not having your shit together. No, that's not having your shit together. That's not what I'm saying. Having your shit together, you can legally get your kids. I'm not talking about the other shit. That's having your. That's not years in the making.
I'm saying in the moment. Cool. What I'm saying is even cool. When you have that moment of, oh, I need to get my shit together because she's playing games. You're still going home without your kid. That's still 6, 8, 10 months, a year.
But what I'm saying is you're fucked up to begin with because you're thinking bad from the time you have that kid. You should have your shit together.
From a place of deficit.
No, from the beginning. When you find out you about to have your kid, get my shit together. That's what a man is supposed to do. No, it's what you.
What I'm saying is, even if y'all.
No, he's saying from a legal position.
Cool. Even if you do, what I'm saying is, in the time when you're working out legal, I got to get a job to pay for for a lawyer to get this and all this. I can't give anytime I can't contact or talk to her and trying to get my daughter. In the meantime, I'm trying to get, even if I'm calling her, hey, I got my own crib. Can I see the kid? No. All right, cool. I did this. I got my own crib and a job. Can I see the crib? No. Can I do this? I got this. Like, I'm doing everything you said, but I'm not checking what I'm saying is what I'm doing. I haven't never even thought about this shit, but I'm doing this shit on your checklist and trying to do it, and you're still telling me no. So what I'm saying is until I do all 10 things, I can't see the kid. So what I'm saying is I got 7 out of 8 things, and the last 3 gonna take me a couple of years. Nope. Well, you gotta wait. That's what he's saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying from the next. No, listen to what. No, how about this? You listen for a second, because what I'm actually saying is from the time as a man that you find out you about to have a kid, start getting your shit together. You got 9 months, my nigga. Do it. And from that point, wait, let me finish. No, you rocked.
I'm asking, does things take longer than 9 months?
I let you rock.
Does it take longer than 9 months?
Hey, bro, I let you.
Can getting your shit together take longer than 9 months? Yes or no?
I let you rock.
Can getting your shit together take longer than 9 months?
I'm not going to answer your question because I'm going to continue to rock. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. I could have interrupted you for the listeners too, but I didn't. I let you rock. Thank you. Get your shit together. No, it ain't ever gonna be perfect. But if you stand from that point in time, because you know who you fucking with, if this is really gonna be a relationship or this some chick you just got pregnant. So if it's a situation where a chick you just got pregnant, you should understand from that standpoint, not for just, hey, this might not work out for that kid. Have your shit in a place. That's what you need to be doing. Of course, if you get to a point you can't get your shit together and you run through that, yeah, because that's the control that most men give up. But you do have a standpoint to stand on, and the defeatist attitude is niggas saying, ain't shit I can do. No, it is. It's a lot of shit you could have did from the beginning, because we as black men don't take fatherhood a lot of times as serious as we need to from the jump.
Okay, so
can I hop in here with a little bit of a story?
One question I'm gonna ask him. When you say get your shit together, what I'm saying is even if you get your shit together is ambiguous in this point, and what I'm saying is who is the determining factor that your shit is together? Is it her that says
no? The legal system.
Okay, cool. So what I'm saying is,
so
were you successful in getting your daughter?
If I wanted to, I did. I didn't have to have that fight. But I know people that had to have that fight.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I know people that had to have that fight and did exactly what I'm talking about and had that fight and was able to get the partial custody. They never fought for full custody, but they never wanted to.
That you're not successful in.
I know I dated a man in my very early 20s who had a very contentious relationship with the mother of his son. He was fully legal. He put himself on child support. He went through the legal system because he wanted 50-50 custody. That's and he got it to the point where she couldn't even decide on a doctor for that kid. If he found out that it was a doctor that he did not approve, he went straight to the court and was like, she's doing things against. So to Ahmad's point, and these things do take time, to your point, Steve. But if you take... I don't think his took longer than 9 months because his son was 2 when I met him and he had those things in place. So what I'm going to say is, and they were together part of after he was born. So I don't think this takes 10 years. It does take time though. I think to his point, if you are really serious about having access to your kid and she is creating a barrier, you need to do what you need to do from a legal perspective to get your rights in place.
And then she says, I'm moving to Miami.
If your legal rights, if your legal rights in place, she cannot do that.
When you're trying to get that in order,
well, fine.
We've seen that happen right now with the co-host here that says, "I'm doing this and I'm taking these actions." And when she gets legal papers, she says, "You know what? I'm moving to Rockford."
You know what? I bet you Javen would tell me to get his legal shit in place to not take 5 years. I bet you maybe took a year.
We already said that you don't break up till you're 2 or 3 anyway. So you're still trying to get the relationship back and then not thinking she's serious.
So let's say she does.
You're still fucking on her.
Let's just say she does pull this while you're in court. Now it's up to the judge to look at her and be like, no, you're in court proceedings. You can't do anything until we come to a decision. Right? If you are in the legal system will play their part helping to support moving this forward. That does not mean you will win necessarily, but the court is not just going to let... It's not, how is it a waste of money?
Well, I'm going to throw all this money at the court system that 80% of... it's more than 80%.
You don't know what your outcome is going to be until you get your ass in court. Period. Hard stop. Now, if you go into
so now I'm gambling on my kids.
You gamble regardless of what you do. You gamble whether you do go to court, and you gamble if you don't go to court.
What's
it's
the
a risk
alternative?
either way. Which risk would you rather take? Would you rather take the risk that could benefit you in the end, or one where you hoping that she does right?
You think you'd be able to convince somebody to do something that they don't want to do that hasn't been able to do it, where you can attempt to go through the legal system and force somebody to do something that they don't want to do?
Somebody die, hit at the funeral.
I mean, look,
You bring up the most habitual procrastinator in the world, and Javen is the
And I'm gonna double down on this whole thing, because then men get mad when their kids are furious with them when they get older, right? And then they're like, "Well, your mama did this."
Well,
I went through that as a kid, where my father was like, "Well, your mama did this," and I was like, "You had choices in this."
I'm going through that kind of now, right? And in the sense of, I feel like in my sense, I feel like my dad walked out twice, right? Mm-hmm. Like he walked out on my mom, and that is what it is. I'm too young to understand that. Whatever. But me and you had a personal relationship, and you got up and walked out, and so now that I have kids, he's like going through my mom, being like, "Do we look like him? Do we?"
Why is he going through your mother? Because you won't talk to him?
I guess that could be true.
No, why won't? Because so.
Well, he walked out. So I had a house, and we were working on the house, right? Mm-hmm. Long story short, we were working on the house, and he was trying to take shortcuts, and I wasn't.
Okay.
Right, and so it got to a point where I'm like, all the tension about my life with him built up. So I'm like, you always and
right out of this one instance. Now you bringing in 40 years worth of stuff. I got it.
So it kind of exploded.
And instead of addressing it, he just walked out. He left. So
but don't you see this playing out in your earlier story about your mama won't let you see me, so I'm just like, fuck this shit. You don't see that a replication of that?
No, it grew to that. My mom always used to be like, your dad ain't shit, and I'd be like, you can go over there, but when he dropped me off, I would cry, and she'd be like, nigga ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You went over there, it's over. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? And so that was, she never stopped me from seeing him or anything like that. It was just the difference in lifestyle.
Right.
And now that I'm older, I realize that it's structure versus non-structure, right? Mm-hmm. So cool. But now I'm older and we're working on a house together that I own, and
all of your childhood shit came up. I got it.
And we don't even. It ain't no like, all right, I'm glad you're older. Let's have this conversation. Let's stop. Let's put the hammers down and let's go have a beer. And
but I guess
talk.
That's what I'm pointing to.
He walks out, and so what I'm saying is, when he walks out, cool. That's you're walking out twice on me.
I'm not arguing.
Me, I'm done.
I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is, I'm pointing to an avoidance tendency in your first story and an avoidance tendency in your dad's story. Is what I'm pointing to.
And what's the first?
So what I'm saying is the first story. And I don't. When you were saying like when your mama's doing this, your dad.
No, I was speaking more in general of women.
I understand, but
I was more speaking of just other experiences that I've seen in how women and just.
But what I'm saying is, yes, women can be bad mothers. I'm not going to say that's not a true.
It's their feelings are. They put their feelings into their kid. And Precisely. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I was going to my example of the maybe this is what you were saying in the first story of, hey, you've been really receptive to this girl that's been around, who's been cooking you dinner and da-da-da-da. And then once your mom got wind of that it's a girl around cooking you dinner, you know what I'm saying? You might went home and you know that I don't cook what you said you ate. And it's like, who cooked that? Well, it was a girl over there and she cooked that. And now the hate comes out and they puts it in the kids. So when she comes back over, now she hates this girl. That they'd be like, why you don't like girlfriend A? Like,
but that's because you didn't communicate. She didn't know that bitch existed until all of a sudden
she didn't have a problem with it until the mom told her there was a problem. You need to.
But the mom didn't know about. I'm gonna assume this mom knew nothing about. Didn't know this person existed until they 5-year-old came home and said, "Hey, she made me green beans and chicken nuggets for dinner." Who the fuck is making my kid green beans and chicken nuggets that I've never met before? That is her reaction.
And what I'm saying, and in that, that's cool. That's a natural reaction. But to put that first thought into your kid to be like, who the fuck is that cooking you green beans?
But you know it?
Like, that's your thought.
But what I'm saying is
it's been on the father's end. It's been fine, and this is how I run my house, and it's cool. You're assuming that your kid is in danger, which diminishes the father's place.
But what I'm saying is the miss for the father was if you had just said something before the kid said something. So you're gonna not tell them stuff because it was a problem the last time, and then continue to do it?
Path of least resistance.
And then continue to do it. You ain't shit for that. I'm that kid's mother. Even if I don't like what you're doing. If you're going to continue to do it, you owe me the right of telling me what the fuck you're doing with the kid that I pushed out of my pussy. Okay, sorry, cool. Hard stop.
Okay, cool.
I don't give a fuck if you don't like it or not.
All right, cool. So then there's that. All right. Now we can take it back to the Holly and DDG.
And let me be clear. Same thing with the father, right?
I'm going on the stream with Casanat. No, I don't want to da. Let's have a conversation. No, the stream is about to start. I'm walking on stage. Like I'm just letting you know. And so what I'm saying is now it ends with I was trying to da and you didn't talk. So what I'm saying is I'm telling you what I'm doing. So what I'm saying, there's not a conversation.
But telling me what you're doing is not a conversation. I'm not sure, child. I'm not sure, child. You communicate with me in a conversation, all things with my child. But you're not
accepting of it.
How do you know? You told me right before
you said it. You pushed back, and I'm telling you what's happening.
But
in my
I have
house.
the
this
right.
This girl cooks beans and rice. My daughter was hungry. I'm not finna sit up and make a separate meal just so this woman can't cook for my daughter. She cooked in the house.
You're missing my point.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a communicate. It is a two-way street. If you're not considerate of what my feelings are, if you're gonna come at me and say, "Yeah, I'm about to go on this stage. Yeah, I know you want to talk, but I only got 30 seconds. I'm about to go on stage." You're not acknowledging my feelings. You're being highly dismissive of my feelings and telling me
to be late for going on stage.
No, what he should have done is the hour before, because he didn't just decide to go on this goddamn stream.
He's a streamer. You know who you lay down with. You lay down with an entertainer who gets his money on the stream.
It's his responsibility to call her when he knew he was going to do this stream and have the conversation with her and say, "Hey, I'm doing this stream. I have little baby with me."
Does she have the same responsibility to do the same?
Yes, this is two ways. This is not just one.
But she's been on the stream with the baby.
What does that matter? So it doesn't matter what I've done before. It's your responsibility to communicate.
So if I put the baby on the stream, and if I'm right now on the stream with a baby, and then next week he looks at what I do,
but you're missing information because you don't know if he knew if she had it on stream. So you're missing information. You have no idea.
My point is the baby's already been on the live stream. She made it seem like my baby is not for the internet.
No, it was more of I don't know where my baby was going. That was the point. It was I don't know where my
father.
That doesn't. So I'm asking you. Sometimes that isn't.
If your child is going with the father wherever he goes is not good enough. He's with the father.
So this is what I'm gonna say. I'm not a good example because I don't. If I trust you as a dad, you can take the motherfucker to a moon as long as you bring him back.
If you trust him as a dad,
but that's me.
So this is evidence that she doesn't trust him as a dad.
I'm not saying that everybody has different rules as a mother.
I can understand.
Their comfort levels are different as a mother.
I completely understand under 2, right? Because under 2, they really can't talk. They really can't. And as the older the kid gets, because the older the kid gets, you really don't have to communicate with the parent, especially nowadays. You can communicate directly with the child, right? So it's not. It becomes less and less and less and less and less. But with a baby, I would. Me personally, I would.
Here's my problem with this argument.
Let me be clear. I am not advocating because I don't put my kids on the internet. And my kids, I don't even let my mama take that. So I'm not advocating for either side.
It's not the putting on the internet. It's the more of the communication part. That's the argument.
Here's where I'm irritated with this conversation, right? Just because you the dad does not mean you get to do what the fuck you want to do. And
I think that goes both. I think that's the point they're trying to make with the mom.
I'm not saying that that's untrue, but we're talking about the dad talking to the mom right now. You owe communication to the other parent when you're doing something because I guarantee you, he did not
have that conversation with a woman about a dad. You never see.
This is your story. This is what you brought to me.
We can go with Kalani and the baby. We can go with the Kalani and the baby just had a baby. Like if we can stay with celebrity and all this shit, there's plenty instances where celebrities have a child, they split, both camps have whatever, and now this Cardi B and Offset, all of these mothers can move with the baby any type of way. Soon as the father has the baby, it's like he had the baby at Rolling Out, he had the baby at this, he ain't had headphones on the baby, he had the baby with this. When she had.
But she has the right to get upset, and you have to have the conversation. Where this is all I'm saying.
Does the father have the right to get upset?
Yes, but a 35th time. Yes, the motherfucker has the right to get upset at the mom.
If you're in a relationship, let's say they're still together, are you communicating or just freely moving?
Fuck.
Wait, which one?
If you're in a let's say they're still together, they still all live in the same house. He just gonna pick up and go to Casa and that thing and I say nothing?
No, and that's kind of my point in the sense that their schedules would be, they're both entertainers, so you would know my schedule, mine know my schedule. And that was her tweet says, I'm out of town. I didn't know my kid was on the stream until somebody sent it to him.
So let's say
she learned in real time. Her point was, or could be implied that
he didn't call and talk to her.
And I get that. I'm not saying that.
It's all this shit is literally just
but she
bad
has been
communication
moving with the baby and her.
We don't know that to be
We
true.
We do.
We do not know that.
We've seen her.
Steve,
and she's giving the baby to her sister. Her sister has
but
been on Instagram.
we're assuming.
How you know he like the sister?
But you keep running to the wrong. You keep running
Steve,
to the wrong place because
Steve.
the point is literally about taking my kid someplace I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying.
And
But
how do we
you
know?
don't know the
When you
reverse.
handed the baby to the sister, how you know he didn't just?
How do you know he wasn't sitting there off camera?
How do you know she didn't call him? How do you know she didn't call him?
No, it's just
that morning and say, "Hey, I'm taking Angel to these 8 places today. I just wanted to make sure you knew." Or shot him a text like, "This is our agenda for today." Bow, bow, bow,
How
bow,
you
bow.
know he didn't do the same to her? And she learned.
Because she had a fucking stroke on Facebook, dog.
That don't mean she telling the truth. So you go on social media, that makes you telling the truth? That's what you just said.
So now we assume everybody are liars on Facebook?
He could have been like, I'm going on Casa Night. She could have been like, no. And then he still did it anyway. And then she made that post.
But she said, but Steve, your word.
Be a world where that happened.
And
where he told her he was doing. Could it be?
Steve,
I'm asking you a question.
Steve, your word. Your words.
A world where he told her that he was doing what he was doing and she still got mad.
You cannot keep moving the goalposts on the story.
We know what we know. I'm saying, is this a world that happened?
Let's stick with what we know. If we start bringing all these arbitrary ass anecdotal shit, we can make them be in Africa with elephants. Like, it will go on and on and on. If we stick with the facts that you've laid out at the beginning of this story and deal with that and have that conversation, those are the things to point out. If you keep changing the goalposts, it's going to be a completely different story in the next hour.
Then why she apologize?
What does that have to do with anything? I just said.
If you're standing on what she's standing on and she was so right in what she was, then why she would apologize?
I didn't say she was right or wrong. At the beginning of this, I said, these are 2 children trying to learn how to co-parent. They're going to do dumb shit. I said this at the very beginning of this.
So what she did was dumb shit.
Well,
I don't think it was wise at all. And I don't think what she... If she found out that her kid was on stream, and again, I'm going to assume by the fact that she had a stroke that they've had this conversation and she told him how she felt, I'm going to assume, I don't have any data with that, I would be fucking livid too. So
I'm not saying that she doesn't have a right to be livid. My point is going to social media and
she probably came back to social media because
she's weaponizing your audience. Only thing you're doing is a whole bunch of people that don't know shit. And why the fuck would you do that?
Here's the thing:
that is a man can't do that.
But it backfired on her.
A man can't go and be like, "Hey, this bitch had my she was with her sister, who was also famous."
Didn't Offset do that? He tried to weaponize. Yeah, that looked real good. But maybe that was what her apology was.
No, this didn't work for Hallie either because it backfired on her too.
She apologized, but when the sister had the baby and was like, "Look at my nephew, I would do anything in the world." This was on Instagram when he was first born. How he like, bitch, I ain't even hold him yet. How do you know if he went on social media and said how he really felt? And Just Hilarious just came on and was like, because she just had her baby and came back from whatever. She was like, man, I wouldn't even let my boyfriend touch him because I'm breastfeeding and this my second child and this his first child and he keep trying to touch him. And I'm like, I wouldn't let nobody touch the baby. Nobody can come on. He can't come on social media and weaponize. Any audience is going to get behind him and be like, yeah, she bogus. But nobody's going to stand behind him.
But I think that's why Holly, I think that's what Hallie was apologizing for weaponizing her audience and overstepping by going to social media instead of just keeping it in-house. I assume that's what she was apologizing for because you asked me why she apologized. I think that's why.
After the damage done. Like you in the
well, you can only apologize after the damage is done. That's how apologies work.
Shit out of women. They'd be like, all right, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Man, he loves a good random ass anecdote.
No, I'm saying
Jesus Christ.
I'm saying that what's the difference in the sense of the
you
damage
can't apologize.
You
can't apologize before.
And I say I'm sorry.
You cannot apologize before.
What damage did she do?
I'm gonna use that.
I have a question.
You can't apologize before.
What damage?
I gotta do the damage.
What damage did she do? Because in reality, she looked bad by posting it to begin with.
That's agreed.
And part of the reason it didn't catch wind, even people her age were like, "Oh, you thought this was gonna catch wind," and everybody was like, "You ain't really got it like that." There's jokes about her. "Oh, you thought your fan. You thought you was this. You thought you was that." It really backfired on her.
Which one you think
in a lot of ways?
The original post or the apology? I mean, which one you think is?
The original post.
The original post. The apology was just saying, that's, again, for social media because you did the first thing. But, again, I expect a 20-something-year-old to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand why we expect
when Mary J. Blige,
like
Mary J. Blige is doing this, and it's like, yo, what's good, fam? What's happening?
I think that point gets lost that it's 20-year-old parents being new parents, but I think that the point that a lot of the co-parenting, what that parent does versus this parent does without my permission, I think that is more universally. It goes beyond.
That's part
age.
of the conversation.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Like, it's 45-year-olds that's still going through that. That's like.
But I would give them the same advice I said earlier. If everybody over communicates, communication is the only way to kind of handle this. That does not mean you're gonna get a perfect outcome, but at least you did what you needed to do as a parent.
And even if you can't talk to the mototherfucker, text.
But I think a lot of people believe that, but also believe that it's better to ask for forgiveness
than permission.
So
in most scenarios, I absolutely agree. In kids, I totally disagree.
Because get the hair braided by this girl.
All you silly motherfuckers listen to this motherfucker from Toronto who said that shit a few fucking years ago in a goddamn song, and now everybody walking around it. That's my motto to live on.
Speaking of him, you go to stand down in Toronto.
And in 90% of life, it is better to ask for forgiveness and permission. Your kid is not in the 90%. They are in the 10 that you need to be asking for permission.
People need to understand there's certain things you do that and you don't even get the chance to do anything else because you're just not here.
I it's hard for me to believe and we can leave this, but I would think he said that. She probably forgot the schedule or whatever. But maybe that's
what the apology was too, that she forgot. It's all
even if he said it, she probably didn't know that the kid was going. Like, I thought you was going. I didn't think he was going with the kid. Whatever it is, I don't think it's that. You know what I'm saying? They're not that far apart in their relationship.
And who knows? There's with celebrities, who knows that they actually communicate with each other anymore? They could be literally communicating between the assistants. And I told my assistant to say this, and they didn't say this, and it didn't come like that. Well, especially with celebrities, man, you got to take everything with like, how real is this? And again, like you said, this could be a rollout.
No, you know what? That's true too.
Wait, for who? Which one?
Both shit. I promise. I forget. I forget they both exist until they do weird shit like this.
They may have a show coming.
Ooh,
or they may have been shopping a show.
That should work.
You see, and they've been told, "Nah, y'all ain't got enough hits." All right, we'll show you.
He look.
It's a rollout.
Could be. He may.
Is
have
Jim Jones married?
To me, no. No. He's not quite my type. I'm sure I'm not his either.
I don't know. Social media going crazy about him being married to some lady named Brooke.
Well, you know why.
I didn't even know he was with a chick named Brooke.
Who cares? But I mean, okay, now that we've had the who cares moment, right? I mean, yeah, I'm sure y'all can understand why it may be a little bit of irritation about this, right?
Because he didn't marry Chrissy?
It's not just he did marry Chrissy. He went through 15 years on 2 different shows. Him and Han about marrying her, buying a ring, having her buy him a ring. And it was all for show. It was all for show. No doubt. No. I totally agree. It was the show. But you have all these people emotionally invested over 15 years about your relationship that you put into social media for people to emotionally invest in. And then you do a damn hard left to potentially marry somebody else. And then you shocked when social media has emotional reaction when you spent 15 years getting emotionally involved in your relationship?
A lot of people.
How dare you be shocked? What are you doing?
A lot of people.
Are you crazy?
Do y'all want men to change or not?
You love a weird ass pivot. What does that have anything to do with what I said?
What I'm saying is this.
What does that have to do with what I said?
That was 20 years ago. Chrissy got Jim Jones of 20 years ago. This nigga's a mature, older statesman of hip-hop.
I'm sorry. Wasn't Jim Jones 3 years ago the same motherfucker standing in Gucci? Stomping his motherfucking feet because they wouldn't service him. You talking about he matured? That does not sound mature to me.
He's matured past the level that she
past Gucci. Because I don't.
The Chrissy of 20 years ago in love and hip hop. What I'm saying is the same way that a man can have kids at 16 and 18 and be in the street, still going to the club and disrespecting the kids and the wife and the family and not respecting his home. And then at 36, have a whole family and
I agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying. It could be he's just a more involved Jim. But she got a young Jim.
Sure. But what I'm saying is you can't spend 15 years getting people emotionally invested in your relationship. He did. And wasn't he on the show? Wasn't he on the show? Wasn't he the one? He was in the antics too, right?
Then it becomes entertainment. I can't marry you because the show ends.
But my point is he put himself out there to be digested by society, right? He put all of this out there, spent the time to get us emotionally invested, and then act shocked when motherfuckers act emotionally invested in the shit when you do something against what we already knew?
Well, he thinks.
Why are you surprised? I don't understand.
Because he thinks a lot more people were in on the joke that shit wasn't. It's reality television with big quotes.
Outside of New York,
seriously, that's what I'm telling you.
Don't look at her as a joke like the people. That's like he's like
no, people absolutely look at Chrissy as a complete total joke.
But I'm saying in the sense of
during the moment too, we thought she was a weirdo. When she was pulling out rings and
that's why.
But
Chrissy hasn't been able to do a really spinoff.
But even that, Jim,
because she looks like the ultimate pick me.
He has so he has a public girlfriend, and now he has a private girlfriend that he's married to. It looks like entertainment. It looks like all right. I'm done with that whole showing my life and personal entertainment shit. I got a girl that I love, and that's my private side.
Right.
This is what I put out is what y'all like. And that's what I'm mad that y'all still trying to pry into my private life.
But again, if you spent 15 years putting it out there, then he should say that. Then, because I saw an interview where somebody asked, why can't he say that? He was on with Kendra G, and Kendra G asked him something about Brooke, and he fucking started getting snippy and being, I'm sorry, I know this is really against my personality, being a fucking bitch.
I knew you was going to say
right? That. And I was looking at him like, what? Instead of just saying, you know what? I've kind of evolved past Chrissy. Like, I understand everybody loves us together. I totally get it. But I've evolved past that. And I'm trying to be a little different in my relationships going forward. So I would prefer not to discuss that any further. And I would appreciate that.
I think
there may be another show there.
Well, I think that point that you just said goes back to your point earlier of...
being mature?
I guess, but with men, Kamala message versus, like, if a man said it versus a woman said it. If he was in an interview with... let's say a Sway or somebody else. You know
misogyny, got it.
Yeah, I think Kendra G is, and she the relationship person. She go with that whole shit.
Oh, she got a vagina, so he ain't got to respect her. Gotcha.
Jim has a little bit of that. I mean,
he does.
A lot of the old school New York artists have that. So I mean, I think if it was a different platform, I think you would get a different answer.
So if he was on the Breakfast Club, he would have gave my answer. But since he was on with,
it depends on who asked.
Oh. It's just hilarious. No. So thank you for coming to Misogynist Tech Talk. I really appreciate it. We can wrap this motherfucking show up.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree with that. That is, it's not what you say, it's the packaging sometimes. So, yeah. That's why Trump won going on Joe Rogan.
So now I got to ask that question. You think he won because he went on motherfucking Joe Rogan and talked for 3 hours?
It humanized him. It didn't. He didn't, because the undecided people that don't see him in the I'm just shooting and calling people nicknames and da. He wasn't on the offense. He just having a conversation, and that's the somebody you want to have a beer with. They always say that whole shit
in those 4 states.
I'm sorry, Ahmad.
I would say in those 4 states, Joe Rogan. He bigger than CNN,
which is crazy.
NBC, CBS, and all of them combined.
That's crazy. All right, let's go back to Jim. Your thoughts on Jim and Chrissy and potentially him being married to Brooke, something or other.
I mean, he didn't. I personally think he didn't speak on it because it's still a show there.
Oh, you think everything's a rollout?
That nigga do try to roll out everything.
Everything's a rollout.
They trying to make money. That nigga like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Okay, touche.
But then he got
Joe Budden did it.
What do you mean Joe Budden did it?
Oh, the whole, Tahiri, then when he was with Chrissy, and then don't you remember the sweet? He did it on show though.
But that Love and Hip Hop shit kind of played though.
Oh no, I know, but they can do that whole. They've been trying to do that whole
shit. They own IP.
Yeah, see, I mean,
that's where he fucked up. That was his first shit. That the Love and Hip Hop shit was.
Nobody knew what that was gonna be. So hindsight is always 20/20.
But he didn't bet on himself.
Who, Jim or Joe?
Jim. He had the idea, and instead of just doing it himself, he pitched the idea to Mona.
Well, because motherfuckers are also cheap.
And you know what's not helping Jim to a certain extent. I mean, whatever
that he still has braids and he's 55.
Well, but it's very difficult. It's very.
I can't.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult for a lot of people to get past your Cam's boy.
Yeah.
And the better Cam does, like Cam is doing great now, it just always will look like, oh, you're just here now because you're Cam boy. But if Cam is doing bad, then it looks like,
I was
look,
gonna say,
look
he
how
was-
great Jim is.
He was Jim's boy for a long time until
Well, I mean,
When Cam wasn't in the scene before this It Is What It Is show, Jim was kind of like running New York because he had dropped
Right.
a couple of tapes, and so
Right.
he was kind of back on his shit, which I can kind of see him ready to get married now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was kind of king of the hill for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Chrissy had him where he was still trying to climb. He was still trying to make a name for himself. He was still trying to get out from under Cam's shadow. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't really
I mean,
love
but
me.
he's back under Cam's shadow now. Now he want to get married.
yeah, for sure he is.
Yeah.
Because it's Cam and Mace. And he knows that Cam and Mace thing is...
He's untouchable. He can't touch that. Yeah.
So now he gets
Especially
married for the clout.
after them niggas was...
Is he getting married for clout? Is that what happened? He got married for clout?
He kind of trying to ride off in the sunset. It's 1 foot on first and 1 foot on second. He trying to...
The last thing I remember of Jim Jones before this was him dissing Pusha. That's the last thing.
Y'all don't remember the whole Gucci fiasco? Didn't
I
I come on
remember
here the
that.
last time we were on here?
Yeah, that was before that. That was before the Pusha shit. Yeah. That was
What he do it? You know what?
him and Pusha.
Yeah, him and Pusha. I mean, I don't...
I feel like
guess
everybody
they did.
fight Pusha T. I don't understand that. He's really disliked, obviously. Pusha T is fighting
I
everybody.
got nothing else. Oh, Ply suing everybody.
He need to pay his legal fees.
Wait, what?
Why is Plies?
And he getting sued right now? That in police, he's trying to fight going to jail, if I'm not mistaken.
Plies? For what?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the other dude from the Fugees. My bad.
Oh, you talking about
Prize.
Prize.
Sorry.
You got me
Plies.
saying-
My bad.
Yeah, he's suing.
Lauren Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
My
No,
bad.
Plies is suing Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Glorilla, and Soldier Boy.
I was just for say it's all
for
bitches,
what?
huh?
Is it-
Why is he suing?
Soldier Boy is the original post. I mean,
What
the original
happened?
shit.
Is it
Why is he
stealing
suing
his
them?
style and shit? Some
It's for this song.
bullshit like that.
I don't know if y'all can hear it.
No, I can't hear nothing.
Is he
I hear
going with
nothing.
Some copyright.
Do you hear it?
No,
'Cause
I
I hear
don't hear
nothing.
shit.
Yeah.
Is it? He really going
It's
for
me and my
it?
goons. The song.
That's unhelpful. I didn't even realize who it was. It took me a second. I was even talking about the wrong person. So obviously, I definitely don't know who he is. Definitely wouldn't know this song. Sorry.
I didn't play it, but yeah,
All these people use the same song.
that's what they said. I was gonna play the song.
Shouldn't he be mad at the producer? Because it feels like if four of the people use the same beat you did, ain't the producer the problem? Am I crazy?
You would think, yeah, you would think.
I
it
mean,
would
but
be
I guess
that.
the
But
producer ain't got as
you
much
gotta
money
sue
as
the
Cardi
artist
B
'cause
and Meg Thee Stallion. So,
you suing them for the publishing.
oh, there you go.
That's the original song. So that's Plies.
Where has Plies been?
On the campaign
Supporting
trail
Trump.
for Kamala.
Has he really?
Yeah, he was very much.
Shout
a
out
part
to
of it.
him. Okay.
He was getting after when she lost. They was See, because my Twitter count it follows a bunch of range of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they was
I'm gonna follow you on Twitter.
the right wing.
Even though I don't
That's
go,
what- that's-
yeah.
The
that's-
right, the
based on
right,
what he said?
the
Yep.
right wing was definitely taking clip supplies and see, even told you, look what happened
Really?
to you. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I actually saw somebody talking about the fact that Glow and Meg were on which I hated, by the way. I so hated that they were at the one rally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand why she pulled out Glow, and I like Glorilla and Meg, but I was like,
I don't. It's
not a
pandering.
vibe.
It's pandering, and they're not getting.
But it's not
anybody-
a vibe. It just was
It's not
totally
getting-
off.
But it's not getting anybody to
It's not.
go vote. It's not.
Nope. Neither is J-Lo
No.
or Bad Bunny.
I don't know.
Bad
They
Bunny,
not.
Bad Bunny.
Y'all don't think
maybe.
celebrities get people out the vote?
No.
Bad.
Not enough to make a difference.
Here, bad. Only one I will disagree because Bad Bunny has a really, 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 really crazy large Latin following.
Not large enough, obviously.
But he's not. The thing is here's the thing. If he was political at all and had been political, or
would have
even
made a
moved-
difference? Okay.
Oh, you know, he could make an actual difference. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Just because his following is so.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna choose to believe you because I don't have enough data on Bad Bunny.
No, Bad Bunny has the #1 worldwide selling album like the last.
Okay.
When he drops, he's
Okay.
yeah. Taylor Swift is cool, but Bad Bunny numbers are nuts.
Ooh.
This is the original song. This is Plies Me and my goons.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how you can tell this any different than the other song that comes
I
out.
keep a couple killers round me when I move. Cause I don't really fuck with a lot of these dudes. Won't rob me.
I kind of like it though.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
So when you see me, you won't see my goon.
It sounds like Shorty Low.
It does.
It sound like what?
Shorty Low.
It does sound like Shorty Low.
This is Plies. Like,
Okay.
No, but that is definitely sounds.
Because
I know.
you know
it's
what? Because I
Plies,
can
but-
kind of hear that song in my head too.
can you hear that?
So,
Yes, that's
We can hear
that's
it.
Shorty
No, I'm saying,
Low.
can you hear Plies? It sound like Plies, or it still sound like
it still
Shorty
sounds
Low?
like
It sounds like
Shorty
Shorty
Low.
Okay. All right, so he's suing him for this song, which is
Okay, well, what did they steal?
this is Pretty Boy Swag by Soulja Boy.
Plies song came out first?
Yes, 2008. This
Yeah, I know that.
2010.
I can even tell that's young Plies. That's super young Plies. I can tell by his voice.
So-
That's
yeah.
super.
Plies may be winning
You
this.
think? What you think?
No, it's Dud.
My
Dud.
Swag.
Dud.
swag. Yeah, Plies about to win.
He's
He's
got
winning.
He's
Yeah.
got a good, especially if he was never credited with anything. That's an ugly check with that one. Though.
And then
That one by itself, you ain't got to do nothing else. You went on that one alone. That's a nice
Glorilla,
check.
Meg and
And then
Cardi
sampled
B
that.
took Wannabe and did this.
They sped it up.
Yep.
Oh, Plies, you about to make some coins.
You think you got a?
You need an assistant, Plies, because you definitely about to get these coins.
Here's the question. I wonder, like, depending on who his lawyer is, where these cases is he gonna go sting on him and shit?
Now, here's-
Ooh, he should do not Rolling Stones. Who the Verb? I'm sure you all have no idea who the Verb is. You know Bittersweet Symphony.
Yes, I was.
So
that was gonna be my intro.
Bittersweet Symphony. Is it Rolling Stones?
No, it's the Verb.
No. Who did they sample from? They sampled from either
I didn't know
Aerosmith
that.
or the Rolling Stones. Regardless, whatever group they sampled from, they went to them and the group was like, hell no. They took that. They still released Bittersweet Symphony. That group sued them. The Verb gets no money from this song every time it plays, and the group they sampled it from 100% gets 100% of the money.
Sting's
They
done
ain't do the
it.
same
Sting has
thing.
done it multiple times. He's done it with Diddy,
Juice WRLD.
He's done it with Juice WRLD. He's done it multiple times. He's
Good, shout out to-
notorious for doing
Shout
that
out to
shit.
Sting. Shout out to the Rolling Stones, whoever the hell this was.
Plies trying to be Sting.
Good.
And
I got a song that people like.
the rumor
Cash
is
me out.
if you try to sample from Sting because he owns all his shit, you gotta ask him, and then you won't do no company. He's like, yeah, this is like 90-10 split, 80-20 split.
You got to go to him.
I
directly.
mean,
Yeah,
I'm in.
it's-
Man,
One of my favorite samples of Stings is Carl Thomas, but obviously that's Diddy.
yeah.
I ain't got nothing else, man.
It is a beautiful song too.
I love this song. I had my whole little white playlist that I was gonna come in with Quincy Jones died. I was like, fuck, gotta throw that all away. I'll probably do it next week.
It's a bittersweet symphony that's
This
live.
is some old
Drink at the
Drink
bar.
at the- yeah.
You can sing in the chorus. You buying a round of drinks.
This is actually a good karaoke song because most
what
people will
I'm
know
saying.
all the words to it.
and you really ain't gotta sing.
Yep.
You don't gotta be
Down the open
episode 254 on the Live Podcast, man. We out of here, man. You got Chantel talking all the electric talk. Jake never showed up. Keep everything straight. We're gonna keep LeBron in our prayers, man. He got a lot of shit going on. Tell you about that also.
Okay.
Change, but I'm